The 64th League Cup final pitch, red against blue, north against south, the down-to-earth Anfield Roaders against the perceived posh boys from the King's Road. There is rivalry, there is familiarity that has bred contempt. Now the most played domestic cup final fixture in history. This is also the most played fixture this century. Since 2000, this is the 74th meeting between Chelsea and Liverpool. Just take that in for a second. No wonder they don't like each other. Maybe it started with the plastic flags or the ghost goal, a bit of Eden Hazard mastery, and maybe it was enhanced by that slip. But maybe, just maybe, you can see too much of some people. 2 years ago, 2 cup finals, both went to penalties. Will it happen again? Well, they do say these things happen in threes. 3 big absences for Liverpool tonight. No doubt about that. Jota, Salah, Nunez not available. So it is the B team up front for Liverpool. But that trio of attackers put 4 past Luton in midweek. They start with Kelleher in goal, Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson, the back 4. No Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's barely got a mention in the build-up to this fixture. Endo, McAllister and Gravenberch in midfield. Elliott, Gakpo and Diaz are the firepower in attack. What about Chelsea? Well, they're without Thiago Silva, but they played better without him in the starting 11 recently. Petrovic is their goalkeeper despite the return to the bench of Robert Sanchez today. Gusto, Disasi, Colwill and Chilwell are the back 4 for Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, with Gallagher just pushing further on. Support Palmer, Jackson and Raheem Sterling, who was brought up in the shadow of Wembley and says this stadium always brings the best out of him. Chelsea in blue, attacking the goal to our left in the first half. Liverpool all in red towards the right in the first 45 minutes. The referee today, Chris Kavanagh, in his first major domestic cup final, and he's had a warning from Pochettino in the build-up to the game. He wasn't happy with the calls at Anfield. The VAR is John Brooks. It's the 7th final to use such technology. And when we're done here, Alan Pardew, who knows exactly what it's like to take his team to a cup final and play in one, will take your calls alongside Majestic. And tomorrow night, Monday night's game night, comes from the London Stadium. West Ham United against Brentford. But right now, it's the 2024 Carabao Cup final, and it is live on TalkSport under slate grey skies in Wembley, with a man who knows exactly how to win it, Stuart Pearce. What a game in prospect.
Yeah, brilliant game. The more I look at each individual team and the lineup, Sam, the more I'm confused about who I think's going to win it. I really am. So what I've done is try to dip down onto the bench and have a look and say who's got more cutting edge on the bench, and I think it probably is Chelsea looking at the lineups.
Well, one of the things that Chelsea were criticised for was a poor start in the game up at Anfield recently, and they want to make an impression early doors here. Wataru Endo is upended by Conor Gallagher early on, and it is a free kick to Liverpool 15 yards just outside their penalty area. Chelsea have won 7 of their last 12 games since Christmas. Their form on the rise with statement performances against Villa and Manchester City, but they were well beaten in that game on the 31st of January. And Chelsea actually might want to refer back to the encounter in August when they were more than a match for Liverpool at the Bridge. Free kick to be taken by Konate, who's been restored to the team. It's the only change from midweek. Robertson's make a long run-busting run down the left-hand side, but it's launched high into the afternoon sky. Malagusto wins it above Gakpo. It's cleared upfield towards Jackson, and Jackson and Van Dijk battle for the ball. It runs loose in the centre circle, and Konate lifts it high into the air on halfway and out to the left, looking for Diaz. Cole Palmer, a little bit hectic so far the game, with lots of the ball being spent in the air and being a little bit untidy from both teams, but now Robertson tries to bring it down the left-hand side and dart down the touchline. He's met by Cole Palmer, and then he has to go back in field. Liverpool in fine fettle despite being ravaged by injury. They've won 10 of the last 12 matches in all competitions and are on course for their own special version of a quadruple. And how they would love to do that for their departing manager, Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, they certainly will. And just looking at that front three for Liverpool up front, Diaz, it'll be important that him and Gakpo hold the height and the width, and that gives the opportunity to Elliott to probably come off his perch slightly, Sam.
Didn't want today, I'm afraid. I've been to the gym, if that helps.
That's where I got it from.
Balls back towards the goalkeeper, Petrovic, who plays it out towards the right. Disasi forward to Cole Palmer, who turns it back towards the far side. Chelsea looking for revenge after losing 2 cup finals in 2022 to Liverpool. And they will be desperate to win their first trophy under the new Clear Lake capital era. Todd Boehly, Begdad Egbali, and for Maurizio Pochettino as well. Ball is loose in midfield, won by Gallagher, picked up by Palmer, sent to Fernandes, and then he tried to send it right over the top, looking for Jackson to get in behind. And clearly that's a tactic from Chelsea. When Liverpool push up to the halfway line, they'll look for that ball over the top.
Well, I've got to say, Van Dijk either didn't know he was behind him or took a real chance there. If that ball would have gone anywhere else, just above him or to either side, Jackson's in on goal.
Nicholas Jackson, who was the subject of a brilliant interview with Scott Minto in the build-up to our coverage here today, and when he talked about missing chances and then refocusing and how he does play it over in his mind and watch videos about it, but he is determined to get better and better, and he's only 22 years of age, the Senegalese. Ball and a play over on the far side, and it's with Malagusto, another one of those youngsters in the Chelsea ranks, only 20 years of age. He will take the throw in halfway inside his own territory. Liverpool, who have just sort of started a little bit more crisper than Chelsea, they look as if they are taking it to them, although Chelsea have had that one opportunity to escape over the top, which didn't quite work for Nicholas Jackson. But it's been a fiercely competitive start. Fernandes back to Gusto. Game being played at a good tempo. It's played over the top by Disasi. Van Dijk gets there again ahead of Jackson. It falls to Wataru Endo, the Japanese captain, and then Palmer is very quickly on him, and the ball is spilt out of play for a throw-in over on the left-hand side.
Yeah, both teams very much sort of feeling themselves out at these early stages. 1 or 2 players not had the experience for their clubs at Wembley, you know, and settling into the occasion.
There's a lot of first-timers at Wembley in terms of these big cup finals anyway. A lot of them have played in other matches here, and I know that Cole Palmer is not quite a veteran of it, but on his last appearance at Wembley, it was for Manchester City. He scored in the Community Shield. Colwell's run into problems, and he's managed to overstretch here and gone in on Alexis McAllister, and he was bringing the ball out of defence, and he just overran it slightly, Levi Colwell, and he's going to get spoken to by the referee Chris Kavanagh. McAllister getting back to his feet now.
Well, Colwell done brilliantly well there, showed great composure in his own box just to sidestep a press, and then all of a sudden he's ended up taking another touch, then another, and just overrun it and just went to ground rather dangerously, and he's fortunate not to get a yellow card on the back of that.
Yeah, he is. 5 minutes to go. He'll be expecting to get some cards tomorrow. It's his 21st birthday tomorrow, Levi Colwell.
Congratulations, young man.
The day before he was spending it at Wembley. 6 minutes into the game, 0-0. Liverpool attacking from left to right in red shirts, red shorts and red socks, and this is a free kick for them. It's about 7 or 8 yards in from the right touchline, and it's a good 7 or 8 yards back from the edge of the penalty area. There's a 2-man Chelsea ball. Van Dijk is at the far post. Canate, whose last goal came in this stadium, is standing at the far post, and it will be drifted in by McAllister towards Van Dijk, and it's headed away by Disasi, who was so important in the game against Manchester City last week, and he fires it out towards this near side. Jackson trying to get it clear. It's not a great clearance by Enzo Fernandez. It hits the back of Robertson, and then Chelsea win it back again, but illegally so. Another free kick given against them. Caicedo, very quick. Chris Kavanagh on the scene to give a free kick in Liverpool's direction just outside the penalty area.
Yeah, I saw that once, and I'm not sure that was a free kick, to be fair. Have a little look at that. I think Endo played tried to tow a ball past Caicedo.
I mean, the question is, where's Caicedo supposed to go?
Exactly that, you know. I think he's bought a foul there, but Liverpool got another opportunity to put the ball into into a dangerous situation in Chelsea's box.
6 minutes and 45 seconds played in the 64th Carabao Cup final, and it will be with Alexis McAllister once again. Robertson is standing over this too. There's a three-man Chelsea wall. And Liverpool looking to try strike first in the cup final. Deep towards the far post, lots of space for Konate. He didn't seem to appear that it was coming his way. Then jettisoned out his left arm and touched it. It was a handball by him, and a free kick has been given to Chelsea.
Yeah, an interesting one. As I say, the Chelsea line dropped off, but it was very front heavy, and
oh dear, Enzo Fernandez has given it away again. He didn't see that McAllister was coming in his wing mirrors, and luckily for Fernandez, his teammate has helped him out. Caicedo pinched it back off of McAllister and sent it down the left-hand side for Sterling to chase. He's getting booed relentlessly every time he gets the ball by the Liverpool supporters. Elliott dabs it down on halfway, picks it up again. Fernandez pokes it away, comes back to Colwell, who clips it high into the air, and it drops out on this near side, and it goes out for a throw. Jurgen Klopp very vocal on the touchline. Mauricio Pochettino is out there as well.
We spoke a lot coming into this game, but both sets of players look a little bit nervous with their passing, Sam, don't they? You know, just taking a little while to ease into the occasion, I think. Yeah, both of them a little chaotic and frenetic in the early stages of the game. Diaz trying to add a little bit of poise. There's lots of space on the far side for Gravenberch, who's made a run. They find Robertson, who's out there as well. He lifts across into the box, and Diaz is underneath it, trying to loop a header towards goal, and it was going to nestle underneath the crossbar, but Petrovic was very quick across his goal and grabbed it from the sky and was untroubled by it. Well, I think if Diaz misses that, he should have been given a shout. I know it's difficult, but was that Gakpo coming in behind? Post, yeah. He had a clear header at goal, and he could have kept his feet planted on the floor. Missed opportunity. He could have ran at it, couldn't he? Indeed. Got a bit of force behind it rather than the loopy header to the back post which Diaz fashioned after 9 minutes here. You're listening to Talk Sport at the Cup Final on this Sunday afternoon. Live football for you tomorrow night. 2 games actually, Talk Sport 2, Premier League and FA Cup available for you tomorrow night. Jeff Stelling back on breakfast tomorrow at 6 a.m. to pour over all the headlines from the Carabao Cup Final as well. Here is Van Dijk, the captain, who will have hopes of lifting the trophy around about 5 o'clock tonight. Bradley receives his pass from left to right, brings it down, twirls away from Chilwell, finds Elliott, and then they decide to go backwards rather than forwards, Liverpool, all the way to the edge of their own penalty area. Jackson putting pressure on Van Dijk. Sterling comes across to Konate. Chelsea put a half press on here and then push a little bit further up the pitch, and Elliott sends the ball from one side of his penalty area to the other, and Robertson again gets him out of dodge, gives it to Gravenberch, who hits it to the halfway line, and it's stopped by Moises Caicedo. 0-0. Yeah, we've had 1 or 2 loose passes at present that have had to be tidied up a little bit, or loose passes that have been intercepted, and give good encouragement to the opposition. Well, there is a couple of really experienced players out there, you know, your Robertson, your Van Dijk, your Wataru Endo, but there's a lot of 20, 21-year-olds out on that field of play today as well, who are experiencing this big occasion for the first time. I mean, it's no new thing for Alexis McAllister, who sat on the bench and watched the Finalissima here, and won the World Cup, of course, with Argentina. Wataru Endo does brilliantly to steal away from Gallagher. He moves up towards the middle of the park and looks for Diaz, but across comes Disasi, and he shrugs off the Colombian and plays it out to Chilwell, who's closed down immediately by Bradley. It's loose on the edge of the box. Diaz goes up for a header, drops to the floor, wants a free kick he's not going to get. Gravenberch then doesn't control it properly. The ball spills for Jackson, and Chelsea have got it on halfway. They move it wide onto Palmer. He's got Gusto outside him to the left-hand side. Running into the box now is Gallagher. Palmer continues to run into the box, tries to slip it into the path of Jackson. It wasn't the right ball. It was cut out by Van Dijk and goes back out to Gusto. His cross takes a deflection. First corner of the game is a Chelsea one in front of the Liverpool fans. Well, what Chelsea done there, Cole Palmer covered ground and drove at the Liverpool back line, but also as well he had 3 players supporting him, getting in the box and waiting for that ball to come in. Gallagher made a really good run in the inside left position. I think that was the ball, and Cole Palmer in the end delayed and tried to play it down the side for Jackson, but Chelsea do have a corner here, and all of their players up on the edge of the penalty area here, which is always a danger when Liverpool have got the opportunity to break, and we've seen that this season. Delivery by Chilwell right underneath the goalkeeper, who punches it into the air. It's Gallagher who wins the ball on the edge of the area, and he's brought down by Diaz, and that looked like another soft one
and a free kick is given to Chelsea in the left wing position.
Yeah, it is. What astounds me with players, though, you know that Gallagher's going to look to be fouled there because it's a tight area, he's got his back to play, but he has accommodated him, it's fair to say, didn't he?
He just sort of leaned into his back, and it was completely unnecessary, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's a sloppy foul to give away for Luis Diaz. Just looking at Jordan Petrovic, who's the only person in the other end of Wembley, just doing little shuttle runs to keep warm in the chilly afternoon here at Wembley. Gallagher to take the free kick. Maybe it will be Chilwell, left-footed. They're both standing over it. Everyone in Liverpool red is inside the penalty area. It will be Chilwell who delivers it towards the far post. Disasi trying to get there. It's too heavy for him. Comes out to Malagusto, who strikes it low towards the near post, and it's saved by Caoimhin Kelleher, who would have deputised for Alisson even if Alisson hadn't picked up his hamstring injury. Bradley trying to burst forward, and he's done brilliantly to get it off Colwell, who's made a mistake. He's then slipped the ball to the left-hand side, and Liverpool coming forward into the penalty area. It's Diaz onto his right foot, back heel Gravenberch, back to Diaz again. Chelsea not getting a tackle in. Eventually they get it half clear, comes back to Diaz on the edge of the area, and Caicedo nips in and tries to steal it to halfway. That was a chance for Liverpool.
Yeah, it was, and it was set up by the advancing run of Bradley.
And here they come again. They'll turn the ball over in the centre circle. McAllister driving the ball from the edge of the box, but it was straight at Petrovic, who pats it down, gathers it on the edge of the 6-yard box, and Ben Chilwell just turns round to his teammates and says, calm down. That's not the first time that Colwell has just got caught.
No, as I say, he's done a couple of good things, but he's also got caught on the ball.
They're giving it away again, and here is Gravenberch to Diaz inside the area, right footed shot, saved down low by Petrovic at the near post, and he pushes the ball away, and Maurizio Pochettino has to try and calm down his team because they're getting a little bit erratic at the back.
Yeah, as I say, it was Disasi there, got the ball from the goalkeeper on the build-up and just basically lost his footing, and that encouraged Liverpool to have another effort at goal. And Petrovic has done extremely well getting down to his right-hand side.
Well, the high press is causing Chelsea a little bit of an issue here. Liverpool so relentless, so aggressive, so eager to win the ball back. They showed that in spells in the game against Luton in midweek. They've shown that all season. It's been a feature of their play for some time now. But Chelsea just struggling a little bit to get to grips with it when they're trying to play out from the back. It is 0-0, and both teams have had half opportunities, but nothing more than that. Chelsea keep giving the ball away too cheaply. Enzo Fernandez wins it back from McAllister, and they're getting outnumbered, I think, in midfield as well at this moment in time. Disasi into Gusto. Palmer trying to drop to receive it. He gets it eventually off Caicedo. Now there's a chance for them to break. Sterling wanted the ball early through the centre, and he's screaming at Gallagher for not giving him it. Here is Chilwell down the left now, trying to travel into an advanced position. It's a short ball back to Enzo Fernandez. Elliott harassing, trying to force them back to halfway, and that successfully they managed to do that, Liverpool.
Yeah. Maurizio just offering himself as a cheerleader at the moment, just short of a couple of pom-poms there, the way he's waving his arm around, getting the crowd at it.
I'm sure we can get him some at half-time. Here's Caicedo down the right, looking for Gusto, but he's asked too much of him. Overstretched that, and it will bounce out of play and away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. 0-0, 15 minutes played, and I think, it will be interesting to see if Liverpool react to the injury news. No Salah, no Nunez today, with a sort of freedom or a pressure. I thought it would be interesting to see how the Liverpool team played as a result of that, and fascinating to see how Chelsea react as well, because they were very much second favourites coming into this, and then all of a sudden, with that news that Nunez and Salah weren't available, it felt as if maybe just the pendulum had swung slightly in their favour, and there was a bit more expectation on their shoulders.
Well, I would say they almost edge favouritism, Chelsea, come kick-off time.
Conor Bradley has been fouled by Ben Chilwell, because again he was just quicker in terms of thought and quickness across the ground than the Chelsea players, and they just keep getting in that situation, and you just wonder whether or not they need to apply a slightly different tactic. This time it was Chilwell who didn't realise that Bradley was coming in from his left shoulder.
Well, we talk about experienced players handling the occasion, young players, will they be, all of that type of thing. The one player who's settled into this game from the first minute is Conor Bradley. He's been absolutely excellent, to be fair. He's made things happen in the opposition's final third, and also as well has been comfortable and confident on the ball.
Conor Bradley, the Northern Irishman who is making yet another appearance in Liverpool red. Stands inside the penalty as the ball's dripped into the box on the free kick. It's headed away to the edge of the box. It comes back to Gravenberch, who is under pressure there. The ball has been cleared up over the halfway line, and Bradley's got to chase back with Jackson now. And Jackson's misread the flight of the ball, thrown himself to the floor, and he's lost possession. It was a good chance to break.
It was a very good chance. It's that little bit of inexperience, I think, there. You slow up and then you just take the ball in full momentum. He got to the ball at full speed, tried to slow up and then run underneath the ball.
0-0, 17 played. And Liverpool have had just slightly more of the possession and definitely more of the attempts on goal than Chelsea. Just settled slightly better into the match than the Blues. Ball over the top, looking to try and find Gakpo as Liverpool come on the offensive, but Petrovic is there to tidy up away to our right-hand side. Jam-packed Wembley Stadium today. Both teams with over 30,000 supporters inside the stadium. And that makes for a terrific atmosphere. Certainly was a terrific atmosphere before the game. And I went down to Box Park to venture into the Liverpool camp and see how they were feeling earlier on today, and everyone very relaxed about the prospects of coming here and testing Chelsea at Wembley. And Chelsea have made this place pretty much their home. They struggled a little bit though in recent cup finals. They are on a very bad losing run at Wembley. They've lost their last 5 domestic cup finals here. Ball sent back to Colwill, into Caicedo. It's another poor ball, and it was pretty obvious that that was not the ball to play, and then Caicedo still played it, and Chelsea just about get away with it. Petrovic clears upfield towards Jackson, but he looked a little bit isolated there. Van Dijk won that and set it out towards the far side. It's taken on by first Robertson, then out to Diaz, and then infield to Gakpo, across and back to Endo, and then Van Dijk will bring it out of defence. 0-0.
Yeah, just the way the game's going at the moment, Sam, you can't help thinking that if a goal's coming, it'll come.
Bradley charges forward, then shoots towards the edge of the box, and it's blocked by Colwill, and Chelsea managed to get it clear again. I think you were about to say, if the goal's coming, it's going to be a Liverpool.
Or courtesy of a mistake was the point I was going to make, you know, and Chelsea at this moment in time are just making one too many errors in probably areas that they shouldn't.
There's another error now. Augusto over on the far side, lost control of the ball. Let's go down to the touchline and see what the reaction has been. Maurizio Pochettino looks animated, Faye Carruthers.
He's been very animated. He just ran back to sit down and calm down and ran straight back out again because he's getting very frustrated with his defenders in particular, and has told Enzo Fernandez to move a little bit further, a little bit deeper.
Ball picked up by Elliott on this near touchline, engaged by Ben Chilwell. Back infield it goes to Konate, and then on Conor Bradley, who's very high up at the field, was robbed by Colwill. It's played down the right side, but again Konate closest to it, and Sterling was just sort of allowing the ball to come to him rather than going to meet it, and Konate won that race. Now Chelsea have got a bit of space on the far side, and Gallagher picks it up. He sends it into the centre. Sterling is arriving. He controls it first time. It comes out to Palmer and then falls back to Jackson. Somehow Keller has made a brilliant save from point-blank range and smuggled the ball out towards this near side. What a chance for Chelsea. Cole Palmer inside the box, rifling the ball from 6 yards out at Kelleher. Somehow he stopped it.
Yeah, he got a brilliant save to it, and when the resulting ball dropped down, it was Endo at full stretch, just keeping Jackson out of the equation.
Well, it was Gallagher who broke on the right-hand side, ball centred behind Jackson. It fell nicely for Cole Palmer, who can't believe that Keller has stopped that. That is literally point-blank range. Brilliant stop by the big goalkeeper. Excellent stop from the man that Jurgen Klopp calls his number 1B goalkeeper. His big left arm went shooting out of his body to stop that from Palmer. Almost a certain goal, and then on the rebound, blocked by Endo as Jackson was piling in. That's the first big chance of the game, and Chelsea have missed it.
Yeah, it certainly was 2 clear-cut chances.
Luis Diaz down the left-hand side, racing into the penalty area at the other end. Well-timed challenge by Malagusto, who dives in brilliantly, wins it back for Chelsea inside their own box, and then Palmer clears upfield. Again, they were waiting passively, Chelsea, for that ball to come through to them. It was a great chance to break as well, because they had 3 in the attack against 3 red shirts, but Jackson and Sterling waited for it. Konate didn't. He came and stole it and cleared for Liverpool.
Yeah, it's that little bit of naivety there from Jackson once again, waiting for the ball to come. Defenders don't wait, they nip in front of you, take the ball off your toe.
Chilwell, near side the left. Chelsea having the ball, 0-0 the score as it's elevated out to the far touchline by Enzo Fernandez with precision. Gusto tries to return it into the box with interest. It wasn't a great cross, it spiralled into the air, and his second effort was a little bit lazy, and it was cleared by Liverpool. Chelsea have it in midfield, just growing in a little bit of confidence now after crafting that opportunity. In towards Jackson it goes from Gusto, away by Van Dijk, and it's out for a throw-in level with the edge of the penalty area, and all of a sudden it's the Chelsea fans that start to turn up the volume inside this famous stadium.
Yeah, they've had a couple of shaky moments, Chelsea, brought on by their own mistakes really. Now all of a sudden they've had a couple of efforts on Liverpool's goal, give them a bit of confidence.
Palmer and Caicedo putting the press on Liverpool this time. Ball cleared by Liverpool, but back forward by Fernandes into the box, looking for Sterling, who's beaten to it by Bradley. It's loose inside the area. Bradley reacts to it, manages to clear. Endo flicks it further on, and then it's taken down by Gravenberch, and then won by Gakpo halfway. Good tackle that by Enzo Fernandez. Really good tackle. Chris Kavanagh says play on. Chelsea have got the ball. There are two Liverpool players down, and Chelsea have got to play on and try and capitalise here. They don't. They rush the ball forward, and the referee now stops the game.
Yeah, referee done right there playing on. I think both incidents that put both Liverpool players to the ground weren't free kicks.
Gravenberch is down on the far side. He's complaining he's got an ankle injury. He was contacted by Caicedo over on the far side. Definitely made contact with him.
Well, it looks as though he's rolled his ankle there. I'm not sure. Caicedo's a little bit late on it. The challenge on Gakpo very clean, but certainly the way he rolled his ankle when he was at full stretch, he could have a problem here, by the way.
Well, they don't need another injury, Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp is absolutely furious, so he is having a word with Tim Robinson, who is the fourth official. And remember, tomorrow morning, very early, when you wake up, England, whose hopes are fading after India's fight back today, will look to try and see if they can force a series decider when they take on India in the Test match. The cricket is live and only on TalkSport 2, 3:30 in the morning. Join the guys for that one. Let's head off to Molineux, full-time for Adam Bridge.
Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0. Wolves move up to 8th in the table. They take the points courtesy of Sarabia's goal on the half hour. The one bit of quality in the game, Sheffield United should probably have got a point out of it, but missed too many chances. Full-time at Molineux, Wolves 1, Sheffield United 0.
Well, the Liverpool bench are not happy about the tackle that was inflicted on Ryan Gravenberch. They've got enough injury problems already. We can see Salah and Nunez sitting just in front of Faye Carruthers, and Faye, they're going to have to warm up some substitutes here.
Yeah, they've got some of the youngsters warming up currently, James McConnell and Trey Nyoni, two of them, and they're just having a bit of a think, the Liverpool bench, about what they're going to do.
Well, it looks like they're going to have to make a substitution here. Stuart Pearce, you said as soon as you saw it, this is it.
Yeah, he was at full stretch as the challenge comes in. I think it was Caicedo. There was contact there, but I don't think it was intentional anyway. It was just the length of stretch that he had, and then Caicedo's trod on that full stretched ankle, and you just couldn't roll it out. So it looks ligamentation potentially.
It looks like a bad foul, actually. It probably should have resulted in a free kick. However, if you look at Caicedo, he's not looking at the player. As he puts his left foot down, he's actually moving off to go in a different completely direction. He's looking away from the player. So I don't think there was any malice in it, do you?
Oh, no, nowhere near that. But it's come at a very, very bad time for Liverpool in regard to the amount of injuries that they've got, not just for this game, which is bad enough, but going forward.
Let's go down to Faye Carruthers, who's got details of the change.
I thought it was going to be young Bobby Clark coming on, who made his debut for Bournemouth, but it looks like Joe Gomez is stripped and ready to come on in place of Ryan Gravenberch. And over on the far side, the stretcher is out and the paramedics will be taking him off.
Interesting. See how that then shapes up. Maybe it will be that Robertson goes into midfield. Maybe it means that he will go and play left back, Joe Gomez. Jurgen Klopp's absolutely furious. I mean, is there any case to make that he maybe would have deserved a VAR check for endangering the safety of an opponent in those circumstances there, Stuart?
Well, listen, the worst case scenario, if you go back on that, recheck it, worst case scenario is going to be a yellow card.
Which the VAR can't get
exactly
involved in, so he would have actually said, and I'm probably pretty certain about this, he would have said that Czech was cleared. On-field decision stands.
And I think when you consider the speed that the challenge was made as well, it was very quick. We look at it and slow down time, it looks slightly worse then, but the pace that the game's played at nowadays.
Well, Gravenberch, who hasn't had much luck, as he's been fighting to get into this team for quite some while, he's now finally achieved that. Now he's been substituted in the first 27 minutes of the cup final, is replaced by Joe Gomez. So it will be fascinating to see how they go. They might go to a back three here, Liverpool, you know. Bradley moving further on the right-hand side, Robertson further on the left, and then a midfield trio of Harvey Elliott, Endo and McAllister, with Diaz and Gakpo a little bit closer together up top.
Yeah, as I say, what it's done, Sam, is diminish another one of their attack-minded players. You know, they've come into the game with the absence of a few of those. They've lost another one that potentially can get them a goal.
The other option, of course, is to stay exactly as they are, with four at the back. Joe Gomez playing as a right back, Robertson as the left back, and Bradley going in as one of the front three, which is where he seems to be operating at this moment in time. He really has done well. Gallagher works it through to Jackson, then it goes on to Enzo Fernandez. He tries to return it. Sterling had made a decent run down the left-hand side, and he's turned around to Enzo Fernandez and said, "Why haven't you fed me the ball?"
Yeah, I mean, Sterling was the pass, and he decided to get a little bit cute and a little bit clever trying to find Jackson for some reason. I don't know why.
Palmer has it on the right-hand side. Gallagher's gone through the centre. Palmer continues and travels towards the edge of the box when he meets Endo, who's been brilliant since his acquisition, really, and he brings the ball clear, steers it forward, but on halfway, Disasi gets there before Diaz. Liverpool forced into a change, and remember, they already were without Jota, Nunez, Salah today, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Alisson all unavailable because of injuries. Curtis Jones as well. So many Liverpool players unavailable, but Chelsea are without 8 first-team players too. It's just been longer, I think, that they've been without them, so people have stopped mentioning it. Here is Chilwell down the near side, on to Sterling, plays it against Bradley, it goes out of play, it's away for a Chelsea throw. Nearly half an hour played in the Carabao Cup final, no score, Chelsea have had the best chance, Queven Kelleher saving from Cole Palmer.
I think if you're Chelsea and Chelsea's bench at the moment, you think to yourself, well, they've taken all their goal-scoring threat out of the team. You would say Diaz is a real threat. You know, Gakpo, OK. Probably Gakpo wouldn't start if they've got their strongest team out. And all of a sudden, they're really short of options going forward.
Well, they might be short of options going forward, but and I mentioned this during the commentary on Wednesday night. You know, they've got 100 goals. Liverpool, the most potent attacking force in European football at this moment in time. In the top 5 leagues, no one has scored more goals than Liverpool. And you know, one of the things I highlighted was the fact that they are the only team in Europe to have 5 players in double figures already for goals this season.
That is quite incredible, and it just shows the depth that they've got, I think, and the options that they've got.
Yeah, one of those who's got double figures is Luis Diaz, another is Cody Gakpo. Both of them are still on the field of play. Chelsea have won the ball from a Liverpool free kick, and they're just growing in confidence as the first half has gone on, Chelsea. They're coming down the right-hand side with Cole Palmer, but it's an evenly matched game. Half an hour played. Liverpool have lost another player to injury. Here is Gallagher skeeting past both Endo and McAllister and getting it to the far side. The cross from Palmer, too close to the goalkeeper, and Kelleher will receive that ahead of Sterling. And he'll bring the ball out, bowl it into Virgil van Dijk. Who's the happier of the two managers at this stage?
Well, it's got to be Pochettino. I think Chelsea have made errors at the back, and it's not been costly at the moment. His team have had another attack-minded player taken off the pitch for Liverpool. It's got to be Pochettino, and I'm looking at him. Chelsea are real, lucky dip of performances, aren't they? You never know what you're going to get from them. And this game, and how 30 minutes in, they've give the ball away cheaply in areas. They've been a little bit costly on occasions, and they've also been very good and very threatening on the counter-attack.
And here they are on the counter-attack, and it's nudged forward into Jackson. The offside flag has stayed down. Sterling's joining the attack. Here is Raheem Sterling to put it in. The offside flag goes up on the far side. It looked like Jackson had raced away too early, and very quickly the flag was raised after Sterling put it away on the edge of the 6-yard box. He thought he'd put Chelsea in front, but very quickly on that far side the eagle-eyed linesman rose his flag. VAR will check it, but it did look from the naked eye that Jackson was just narrowly offside when that ball was initially played.
Well, when a new directive come in, this is exactly what it was for.
Hold on.
A semi-marginal, and this is very tight, but play had to go on, and if this is ruled onside, it's an absolute brilliant decision by the linesman. If it's not, it's still a great decision. He's got a directive to play on for this reason and this reason alone.
Well, this is going to be interesting. The mathematical instruments are going to have to come out, because this is very tight. Ibrahim Konate and Nicholas Jackson in a foot race. First glance for me, I thought offside, but Sterling kept running through the centre. The play continued. He popped it home, and Raheem Sterling might get the chance to celebrate a goal here, because I think from looking at the monitor that my initial glance is, I think this could be allowed.
I think he's off. I think his knee is just offside.
Oh, it's going to be very, very tight. Those in Stockley Park back in the southwest of the city will be pouring over it now, but it's a big moment in the final. Raheem Sterling, who made 129 appearances for Liverpool, scored 23 goals for them, has a nervous wait. A boy that was brought up in the shadow of Wembley Stadium was indeed offside. You were right. Oh, it was tight though, wasn't it?
It was very, very tight.
Took just under a minute for them to sort that out, and echoes of Lukaku in a previous cup final. Here is Gomez down the right-hand side, and Chelsea, who have had one save from Cole Palmer, down low by Queven Kelleher, have seen a goal disallowed as well for a narrow offside, and that probably is a bit of a warning to Liverpool, I think, because that's not the first time that they've gone in behind the high line.
No, it certainly isn't. There's been some good runs. Van Dijk's cut one out, namely, that would have been a very good opportunity.
Jackson was being wrestled by Konate there from behind, and the ball is sent long, and the offside flag is up against Gakpo this time. Ball kicked away by Bradley, and the free kick is given to Chelsea on the left side of their defence. It is 0-0. They're 10 minutes before half-time, and it is a finely poised cup final. I think we've been here before, haven't we? 0-0 between these two.
Certainly have, and I think the longer this goes on, the more importance his first goal certainly will have.
Jackson wins a header but can't direct it back to a blue shirt. Endo sends it forward into the path of Elliott. The tackle comes in from Fernandes. It's a poor one by him, and Elliott picks it up, sends it to Bradley, gets the return, plays it out left for Liverpool. On the attack with Gakpo now, chopping in on his right foot. Needs some support. He goes backwards towards Endo as Chelsea flex into shape. Endo travels towards the left and feeds now Andrew Robertson. Now back onto McAllister. His delivery is deep towards the far post. Bradley with a header down. It evades Elliott, and then Chelsea clear through Enzo Fernandez high into the sky and look to try and escape themselves. Konate with a strong challenge on Jackson, running loose. It comes to Fernandez, midway point of the Chelsea half, out wide to the right, and Palmer for Chelsea moves forward, elevates the ball high out to the left hand side, and chasing forward at speed was Chilwell. His first touch wasn't great, but he's kept hold of it. Gomez goes out to meet him in the right fullback position. Chilwell chops back in field, and Bradley says, come on, I'm going to have some of that. Puts it out on this near side and away for a Chelsea throw down by the corner flag.
Yeah, good switch of play there. Just caught Liverpool just slightly unhinged. Gomez just advanced probably too far and just got across and just stopped things.
Chilwell towards the edge of the area. It's a poor ball forward, and then almost a terrible ball by McAllister, which just got past the foot of Palmer, and then forward by Robertson, and then Gusto and Diaz in a foot race. What brilliant defending that was from Gusto. Not for the first time today. Excellent work from him on that right hand side.
Yeah, he done very well. I've watched him a few times this season. I've felt as though there's a little bit of showboat in there as well, isn't there? He's got a little touch of that in him.
And a bit of nastiness as well. He got sent off against Aston Villa and could have got sent off against Fulham earlier in the season. But I think he's got something, you know. He's 20 years of age.
Without a doubt, yeah, certainly at his age, and certainly good defending there, no doubt about that. Comfortable on the ball going forward.
Caicedo, two good right-backs, two good young right-backs out on display today. Conor Bradley, who I've got a lot of time for. Here on the left-hand side, Sterling into the box, and he's joined now by Gallagher, who gets to the byline, pulls it back. Palmer is there, but Robertson is too. And it was brilliant defending by an older head this time, watching that all the way, and as it was cut back towards Cole Palmer, across come Andrew Robertson to tidy up for Liverpool.
Yeah, they broke that back line of Liverpool on probably 2 or 3 occasions now, and just got in behind them, once having a goal chalked out, and once again really good movement there. Gallagher pulling one back, and Sterling, great ball to the dead ball line.
Well, Chelsea have knocked on the door a little bit louder as the game has gone on, Stuart.
Yeah, they certainly have. As I say, there was that period where Chelsea were trying to play out from the back and giving it away, just encouraging Liverpool, but certainly since the injury things have changed slightly. The ascendancy of the game's changed.
Kelleher to the right side, and Konate. Back it goes to Kelleher once again. He lifts it high to the halfway line. It's a flick on by Cody Gakpo. Bradley tries to edge it through. He thought he was fouled by Colwell, who just about made enough contact with the ball to get it out towards the far side. And it goes out for a throw, which Liverpool take quickly. Play into Gakpo, then back to Elliott. Then Gomez gets it back to Konate. And on halfway, Liverpool have possession. It's 0-0, 38 gone on Talk Sport. And remember, the cricket tomorrow, early in the morning, Jeff Stelling at breakfast. 2 games on Monday night for you from the FA Cup and from the Premier League. 2 games on Tuesday night for you from the FA Cup, and Wednesday night as well. It's a veritable smorgasbord of sporting entertainment on Talk Sport.
Oh, wonderful analogy, my friend.
You like that, did you?
Yes, I did. If you can shoehorn any form of food into our commentary, I'm delighted.
Yeah, I wasn't happy with the food today. You were very happy about pie and mash, weren't you?
Yeah, done the job rather nicely. A bit of roughage.
Yeah, you certainly indulged, didn't you? You do love it. You had a smorgasbord.
I did to start with, yes. The pies weren't out at the time, so I'm not waiting 3 minutes for my pie to come.
Ball out of play on this near side, and Chilwell will send it down the touchline. It's over the head of Sterling. Chelsea trying to come forward. There's a push by Konate, and it goes out and away for a throw-in just shy of the halfway line. Pochettino said that Chelsea are motivated by the possibility of writing history, not revenge for what was a thrashing at Anfield, where they didn't really get close to Liverpool. They've been much better today. And what Chelsea will take encouragement from is the fact that Liverpool have started to concede chances and concede goals since the turn of the year. But it's Liverpool on the attack now with McAllister on to Diaz. Diaz trying to turn inside the box, gets it back to Robertson. Great cross. Gakpo with a header, hits the post. What a chance for Liverpool. And Chelsea saved by the frame of the goal. And Liverpool have got a habit of hitting the post and the crossbar this season, have done it at Wembley. Gakpo's header from Robertson's cross. It was a golden chance to take the lead.
And I've got to say, what a header it was as well. He's come back away from goal, arced his neck, and just got the power on that guided it to the back post. All of us thought that was nestling in the net.
Well, he's got 2 goals in his last 2 games, Cody Gakpo, and the run down the left from Diaz sent Robertson away. But now Liverpool can't be defending because Sterling is trying to get in behind, but they reacted really well. Joe Gomez, brilliant, as he got there just in front of Sterling and managed to clear. Bradley up inside opposition territory, finds Gakpo, who runs in between Caicedo and Colwell, but then loses out. Chelsea have it on halfway. Fernandes into Jackson, down the left side, looking to get away from Konate, and he has got away from Konate, but Konate's got back at him. What a duel those two are having at this moment in time. And then Konate comes across and puts it out of play level with the edge of the Liverpool penalty area. 5 minutes to go before half-time.
I've got to say, this game's opening up brilliantly at the moment. Both managers giving brilliant histrionics in the technical area, leading their teams and arms swailing around.
What a header from Gakpo off the inside of the post. Petrovic could only look and admire it.
I tell you what, it was quality. He's, as I say, he's come away from goal and generated the power to guide it to the far post.
I must admit, I thought that was going to go back into the net, off the post initially. Here is Jackson down the left for Chelsea. Sterling very tight on this near side. Lots of red shirts, lots of blue ones, trying to pick some space to get the ball moving again. They go back to halfway, Chelsea. It's Disasi in the centre circle, finds Caicedo, back to the right it goes. Gusto is waiting far side. His control has let him down again. That's the second time that's happened today. He's gone out of play and away for a throw-in. It's 0-0.
It is. That's the trouble. You showboat on occasion and then all of a sudden miscontrol two that just roll out of play. It looks,
it's got to be
counterproductive.
Yin and yang.
Oh, I suppose so.
Bradley, infield. He's been pretty solid up until this point. He's playing a little bit further up now that Gomez has had to come on for the injured Gravenberg. Poor ball forward though by Liverpool, cut out, and then Palmer under a little bit of pressure, twists away from McAllister, then gives it to Elliott on the halfway line. Enzo Fernandez there could have done better to help him out, didn't do so, and then got outwitted by Elliott. And now Diaz down the left-hand side, meanders into the box, plays it to Gakpo. He tries to return it, but Robertson is in an offside position, so therefore couldn't touch it. And Chelsea will win back the ball and clear it to halfway. Earlier on today in the Premier League, we've had action at Molineux. And victory for Wolverhampton Wanderers, the goal coming from Pablo Sarabia after half an hour. Celtic left it late but won at Fir Park in the SPFL. And here it's 0-0 between Chelsea and Liverpool.
We've just seen on occasions probably the downside of Jackson's game. He's got to learn to hold the ball up a little bit better, a little bit stronger. He's a little bit loose. I don't think he enjoys the physical contact of having his back to play.
Well, he's played in the last four, started in midweek after what was a particularly difficult period he had away at the AFCON. He was Senegal's striker and didn't score a goal during that tournament. And he has just started to find the net with a little bit more regularity in Chelsea blue. He's got a habit of missing big chances. He's missed 14 of the 21 big chances in the Premier League season that have come his way. He wants to improve that, but he will also have to improve that hold-up play if he's going to play as the lone striker. Chelsea do have a striker on the bench in Christopher Nkunku, who was their poster boy signing in the summer, and yet they've hardly seen anything on him. He's only started 2 games all season.
Yeah, and the fact they've got him, Madueke and Mudryk on the bench might be an indicator that they've got more to go to here, I think.
6 minutes of added time at the end of the first half as Palmer and Gusto combine down that left-hand side, and then the ball comes up the other end and Diaz escapes the attentions of Enzo Fernandez and bounds into the box onto his right foot on the reverse towards Elliott, who pokes it into Gakpo, comes back to Diaz, he squares it to Conor Bradley, who tries to touch it into the net. The far corner is blocked by the Chelsea defence, and somehow Cole will get enough on that to block it, and it's cleared away out towards his near side, back in by Gomez. It's over Disasi's head, it's retrieved by Luis Diaz on the far side. He motors into the penalty area again, gets to the byline, tries to flip it round the corner, away by Disasi, and it's out on the far side, and Chelsea survive another attack from Liverpool.
Oh, absolute carnage in the 6-yard box there. The ball flashing around. 2, 3, 4 players had an effort at goal. Fortunately for Chelsea, they got numbers back and managed to get blocks.
Just approaching half-time. There will be 6 added minutes at the end of the first 45, and it is Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. Chelsea have had a goal disallowed, and they've had a point-blank range effort saved from Palmer by Kelleher, and Liverpool hit the frame of the goal through Cody Gakpo. Konate inside that centre circle, forward to Van Dijk, who's urging his team on. Now it's Liverpool's turn to come on strong again. McAllister to Diaz, 5 yards outside the box. His effort is curtailed by the block from Colwell, and it bounces out towards the near touchline where Joe Gomez retrieves it, gives it to Bradley, back in on the edge of the area. Oh, it's not a great ball by him to Elliott, and then Chilwell is tripped by Gomez. Free kick on the edge of the box for Chelsea.
Yeah, you just can't call this game. Chelsea are so clinical going forward almost, but so unclinical defensively on occasion, you know, and it's such an open game at present.
Well, no one's converted a chance yet, and that's been the key thing in the game. We've had 2 shots on goal from Chelsea, 3 from Liverpool, a couple of blocks efforts as well. But it's Liverpool have the ball and they've won it back again after Chelsea have given it away inside their own half. And it's Diaz. Back to Endo. Endo infield towards McAllister. Back to Diaz once again. Left edge of the area. Further wide it goes to Robertson. Then back to Diaz once more, who shuffles it back to the left side of the centre circle. It's collected by Van Dijk, who lifts it high into the air, away by Chilwell, who rose well, but Gomez does brilliantly to get it back towards Bradley. There's a tussle between Bradley and Chilwell, and Chilwell then thrusts him off. Gallagher moves him out of the way. Elliott tries to get involved. Joe Gomez is there as well. This has all got a little bit unsavoury and unnecessary, and it will be a Chelsea throw on this near side when eventually it's sorted out. And there are a few sort of like arms and legs flailing there, and a bit of pushing and shoving going on.
Yes, I think it'll end up culminating in Chilwell and Bradley both getting booked.
Well, Chris Kavanagh has booked Ben Chilwell, and now he's going to come over and book Connor Bradley on this near side. One booking apiece. And Ben Chilwell just going over to have a word with the linesman just to explain that he didn't feel as if he'd done anything wrong in that particular encounter. I must admit, Connor Bradley did start that by grabbing Chilwell round the waist and wrestling him to the ground. And then the Liverpool players, Gakpo and Gomez, weren't happy about the fact that Chilwell had picked on a youngster, so went over and intervened themselves.
All part of the theatre.
Yes. And the end of Act 1 is about to come to its conclusion here, and it's 0-0 at Wembley. Here is Caicedo. Remember, usually when these two play, we get an encore. Ball sent long, high up towards the right-hand side. Jackson trying to get there, but across comes Van Dijk and launches himself into the air and prods it out for a throw-in over on the far touchline. 0-0 the score, 48 minutes on the clock, so we've still got another 2.5 to play here at the end of the first half. Jurgen Klopp looking a little bit agitated in the technical area down in front of us. And that will be because, I think, of the injury to Gravenberch, another injury, and when he's got so many. Chelsea have given the ball away again. Gallagher this time the guilty party. Enzo Fernandez tries to get him out of trouble, then Gallagher comes back and gets himself out of trouble, wins it back on halfway, and Chelsea look to come forward. Jackson goes down the side of Van Dijk, who steps across, wins the ball back, and it goes straight back to Kelleher.
Yeah, both Konate and Van Dijk have just got a little bit too much experience at the moment for Jackson. Unless he gets some fresh air, he finds it difficult to shake them off when they're in close attention.
Yeah, he's not got enough action, Jackson, to get round Van Dijk and Konate at this moment in time.
I think you'll find he's got a fraction of the action as Jackson.
And he's guilty of a couple of infractions as well. Here is Konate on halfway, plays it left to Van Dijk, and Chelsea just backing off and inviting a bit of pressure here in the final few seconds of the first half. We're into the final minute to be played at Wembley as the ball goes in towards the near post. Gallagher stoops and heads it away from Bradley's cross. Liverpool being the asserter as the minutes tick on, and it's a ball round the corner for Gakpo, which is missed by everybody and goes straight into the arms of Jordan Petrovic. Pochettino urging a little bit more energy from his team as we reach half-time. And Liverpool, who've already had to make one change, have to try and see out the last few minutes as the ball's launched upfield by Petrovic. Kept in by Palmer far side. Gusto gets it back to his goalkeeper. He then clips it forward. And it's going to go straight back to Liverpool. Diaz tries to control it far side the right. Palmer will allow it to go out of play. It's a Liverpool throw with 30 seconds remaining. Caicedo trying to rob the ball on halfway, and legally so, gives the free kick away to Liverpool, and Liverpool will look to build. Konate forward down the right, stopped by Jackson. Jackson is penalised for being a bit too aggressive, and the free kick is given in favour of Liverpool. They move down the left. as we approach the last few seconds of the half, and Diaz now skates towards the edge of the area. Can he accelerate here? He stops the ball, waits, plays it back towards Robertson. Robertson will cross into the box right-footed. It goes all the way through to Bradley, trying to keep it alive, into the centre, poked away by Chelsea, and that's the last action of the first half. The first half where Chelsea have had a goal disallowed and a point-blank range effort save, and the post at the other end has been hit by Cody Gakpo. Chelsea have turned up in all the big games since Christmas, with the exception of their trip to Anfield, but they're making life difficult for Liverpool so far at Wembley. That they will know as well as anyone that Liverpool are the best second half team in the country. It's half time in the 64th League Cup final, and it is Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0.
Cheers, Adrian. Yes, the League Cup's value, I think, has been enhanced by the approach of first Jose Mourinho and then Pep Guardiola to it. Both made it an early priority in their seasons and their hunt for silverware, put silverware on the board and build from there. It certainly has value to both sets of supporters, and these two teams who know that the possibility of winning prizes has been severely reduced by Manchester City's dominance in recent years, certainly showed in that first 45 minutes, Stuart, just how important it was for them.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, the game's wide open. There's a trophy to be taken by either one of these teams. You can't help thinking the first goal might just be the only goal.
Diaz coming down the left-hand side, onside, moves into the penalty area, low ball into the near post, put behind by Disasi, and the Chelsea supporters thought that Diaz was offside as he broke down the left-hand side. It was pretty apparent from our position that he wasn't, and they won the first corner of the second half. So Liverpool in red, attacking the goal towards their supporters away to our left-hand side, which is the east end of the ground, and they have the first corner of the second half.
Yeah, Gusto just showing too much of the goal. He really did. You can't do that to Diaz. He'll take you up on it, push the ball past you and leave you for dead.
Here is Robertson with the corner. There's four at the back post now, bursting towards the near post. One of them is Van Dijk, flicked away by Colwill. Comes out on the edge of the area for Bradley, who turns into a bit of trouble. Comes back towards McAllister, kept alive, and then rifled towards goal by Endo, just inside the penalty area, as he acrobatically positioned himself up for a hitch kick volley, but he missed it by a good 7 or 8 yards.
Yeah, from where we were sat, we thought that was going to be a lot closer than the replay suggested it would. But when Chelsea went, the ball got cleared to the edge of the box. The ball, as Chelsea popped out, there was four players went past the ball before it was secured. Brilliant for a counter-attack, but if you don't secure the ball, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, and they were 0-0, the two teams. Chelsea with Petrovic in goal, wearing yellow. The right back is Gusto, Disasi, Colwill and Chilwell the back four. Chilwell's been booked. Fernandes, Caicedo and Gallagher in midfield, with Palmer and Sterling behind Jackson in attack. And Jackson needs to improve his hold-up play in this second half. Liverpool all in red, have Kelleher in goals, made a good stop. Bradley, who's been booked, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson, the back four. Endo will screen the back line with McAllister, and now Conor Bradley, Elliot Gakpo and Diaz also involved. Elliot playing a little bit deeper and Bradley playing higher up, because Gomez had to come on at right back because of Gravenberch's injury in that first half. So it is 0-0. We played 2 minutes and 30 seconds of the second half. Chelsea have a goal kick away to our left-hand side, and it's at the feet of Georgia Petrovic, who was spotted playing in the MLS for New England Revolution by Kevin Hitchcock, who played a number of years at Chelsea. He's a long-time backup goalkeeper at the football club. He's now the goalkeeping coach of New England, and he was signed in the summer as a backup to Robert Sanchez, but actually has done well when filling in for the injured Spaniard over Christmas and beyond. Caicedo goes up, gets a whack on his knee, lands on the floor, and the ball goes out on this near side for a Liverpool throw-in. Liverpool won the League Cup a record 9 times, the last time against Chelsea on penalties. It was a love affair that started with 4 straight wins between 81 and 84, rekindled in the early 2000s. There has only been 2 occasions in the last 21 years that they have lifted the famous old cup. Stuart Pearce, you know what it's like. You know what it feels like to lift this trophy. It's a big day out, and it's a big success if you do it.
Certainly is. Any visit to Wembley, you know how exciting it is for the fans. Listen, this is 2 sets of fans that are used to winning trophies, but the excitement generated around this place and before kick-off, it was there for all to see.
Ball out of play over on the far side. It goes out for a throw-in the left full-back position, and it's with Ben Chilwell, who will toss it in. It's been a little bit of a scrappy start, actually, to the second half. Not as open or as attacking as that first 45 minutes, where both teams really, after taking 5 minutes to get into it, certainly went at each other.
Yeah, and I would say that probably Liverpool have come out in this second half and been the stronger of the two sides at present.
Chilwell to take the throw again, second successive one down that left-hand side. Chelsea looking at their bench have got options on there that Stuart rather quite fancies. Madueke is one of those. Jackson trying to hold the ball up. Konate was wrestling Jackson to the floor. The ball's run loose and Chelsea have won it back again. Endo has pinched it off Enzo Fernandez, and then Elliott's got it back towards the right back, and Gomez, who's fed the goalkeeper Kelleher. He clips it high up towards halfway. Gusto, he's made a mistake there, got in front of his man and then somehow won a foul. He's been very fortunate.
Yeah, as I say, just got caught underneath the ball, and Diaz just give him a little nudge, which just nudged the referee in many ways to give a free kick.
Sterling chasing over on the far side. The offside flag is going to be up. That's going to be a free kick away to our right for Liverpool. Jackson's a little bit upset, not sure quite what with. He was being wrestled to the ground by Konate, but it's his teammates who have been on the wrong end of his sharp tongue. And he's a little bit of a character with a bit of an edge to him, Nicholas Jackson. He can be quite humble at times and definitely show his softer side, but then he does occasionally flare up. Here on the left is Luis Diaz, moving down the left touchline now, being pursued by Cole Palmer, gets into an advanced position, then chops back in on his right, gives it to Endo, then Diaz will try and get it back to halfway. Jackson can't quite reach it, and it's with Liverpool on the halfway line, and it remains 0-0.
The game's just taking a little time to get back into that same ferocious pace that we had in the first half, I think, you know.
Endo under pressure from Caicedo, who goes down under that pressure, and then the ball is switched out to the right, and Elliott takes it over midway inside Chelsea's half. Poor ball forward by Elliott, given away, and Sterling tucks it round the corner for Enzo Fernandez, and Fernandez then sends Jackson down the left side. Chelsea have got two in the centre. Jackson with Gallagher to his right, tries to poke it into Gallagher inside the area. He squares it for Enzo Fernandez, who gets it caught under his feet, and it goes behind him and into the arms of Kelleher. What a chance, what an opportunity, and what a fumble by Enzo Fernandez.
Well, he went into the box there. He was backing towards goal, basically. He'd gone beyond the ball. He had the ball at his feet. He's going backwards, and he's tried to backheel it in the goal, where a little set-off to certainly Sterling was available to him.
Well, he had options, and instead of using those options, he went for glory, and that glory did not come. And it remains 0-0. But it's another good chance for Chelsea to take the lead, which they haven't taken. Liverpool have had their opportunities too. That frame of the goal away to our right was rattled by Cody Gakpo. Really good header from him. Here's Gusto though, bursting down the right for Chelsea in blue, thick white trim and white socks. Gusto with his hair braided down his back, sends it back into Disasi. Disasi wearing gloves today. Infield to Colwell, and now Conor Gallagher. Gallagher trying to turn. Gives it to Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez, Caicedo, back to Colwell, who keen to impress Levi Colwell. His mum and dad are mad Liverpool supporters. Oh, Disasi, he's taken a really heavy touch on halfway. He's been robbed, and McAllister has pinched it and then tried to release Elliott. Didn't make the most of the situation, and Chelsea, who are misshapen and completely out of shape, didn't get punished.
No, Disasi it was. He tried to put his foot on the ball and roll it forward, got it all wrong, give the ball away, and McAllister should have done a lot better, to be quite honest with you, with his forward pass.
Palmer sends across into the box. He thought the deflection was going to take it out of play and away for a corner kick, so he didn't give the chase. He didn't go behind the line, and Kelleher came and recovered it and clears it away. 0-0. 9 minutes played in the second half. And Liverpool, who've had 55% of the possession, 9 attempts to Chelsea's 2, 3 shots on target in the game. And still 0-0 with Chelsea again in a cup final. It's becoming a bit of a repetitive scenario. These two played 2 cup finals that went to penalties in 2022. Not too many of them are still here now. Colwell and Bradley are going for a ball which has been sent over the top. Petrovic has reacted and headed it away. Chilwell is cleared from the left full-back position, and then Konate is being chased by Sterling. Konate has scooped to head it back to his goalkeeper, and then it's quickly fired out by Kelleher to Gomez. Gallagher trying to get back. Elliott picks it off. It's played infield towards McAllister, and then to Endo, and then Endo forward to McAllister once again. Gallagher's such full of energy, isn't he? He runs around, he puts pressure on right at the top of the formation. He'll get back and dig in, and then within seconds he seems to be in the opposition's half as well.
I tell you what, that's infectious to have a player of his ilk and his energy in your team, because when you have quiet moments in the game, that energy lifts the tempo of your team.
Here is McAllister trying to fire it into Bradley, who's almost playing as a second striker at this moment in time. It's cleared by Chelsea, and then Jackson again just chooses the wrong option, slows the pace of the attack when they look to counter. They come forward with Malagusto down the right-hand side, didn't want to feed it to Jackson, then turned into trouble. Endo has followed him out on this near touchline, and Palmer's had to just trick his way past Endo and moves into a central position now. Chilwell is inside the area, waiting for a pass to come, but the shot from Palmer went fizzing past the post instead, and Chilwell's turning around and saying, any chance? He was literally free on the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, Chelsea are all that team. We spoke with Pat Nevin before the game. They are that team that don't always get it right. They're a young team, and maybe there's better options potentially on occasion, but certainly if they keep this group together, they'll improve playing with each other, no doubt about that.
The second youngest average 11 in the league, and Thiago Silva has played 23 of the 25 league games.
If it wasn't for that, there'd be an average age of 12 and a half.
Ball sent forward by Van Dijk right through the middle. Again, Bradley, willing runner, tries to put pressure on Petrovic on that right-hand side of the attack. Almost playing as a right winger now is Conor Bradley. Up to Jackson, into Caicedo. It's a poor header by him, picked off by Elliott, and then Konate will see it back to his goalkeeper. 0-0. We're just about to hit the hour mark. You're listening to TalkSport. Tomorrow night, live commentary from the Maidstone game in the FA Cup is on TalkSport 2. We've got West Ham Brentford on TalkSport. And Tuesday night, 2 games from the FA Cup. Wednesday night as well, including Nottingham Forest against Manchester United, which is our exclusive commentary on TalkSport. It's going to be a big week of football here on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. And a big weekend of cricket as well, with England trying desperately to find a way to level the series at 3:30 tomorrow morning. The 4th test continues. Here's Endo into Luis Diaz, bit of space for Gomez on the right side as Liverpool come on the attack. They feed Elliott now, who's left-footed to cross, is deep towards the far post, and Gakpo is waiting for it, is allowed to bring it down. He chips it back into the area. Elliott on the volley, into the ground, pushed away by Petrovic because it was a difficult one to handle, and then Palmer will clear out towards his near side. He can get it right, and it goes out of play, and Liverpool encouraged by that.
Yeah, they've got a lift in their tempo with that is for sure.
Diaz skips away from Sterling, then tries to dig a shot out from the edge of the D, and it's over the top of the crossbar, and it doesn't trouble Jordan Petrovic. 0-0 on TalkSport, live at Wembley today, and the both sets of fans, a little bit full of trepidation really, a bit of nervous tension in the air as the second half goes on. Having seen these two teams collide on a couple of occasions, in fact seen these two have so many epic battles over the years, you can understand why there is a little bit of nervousness amongst both sets of support, as Liverpool, who have certainly started the second half better, come down the left with Gakpo. It breaks to Robertson edge of the area, tackle from Caicedo, but it comes back out to the left side with Cody Gakpo, 5 yards back from the edge of the area, onto McAllister, into Robertson, back to McAllister again, and then Gallagher, well, I mean, he just sort of collided with McAllister. The referee was going to play the advantage, there was none, so the free kick has been given. Gallagher is saying, well, you've only done that because you were told to by the supporters and because McAllister was rolling around.
Yeah, and because obviously there's a perception in the game that every time a player hits the ground and is injured, the game gets stopped. There is no head injury scenario. Yeah, it was a foul, there is no doubt. The referee's played advantage. At what stage do you get talked into not playing advantage after you have?
Well, it was a foul, and it is going to be a free kick to Liverpool. And the Liverpool fans raise the noise levels behind the goal that Petrovic is defending. Chelsea's line is about 5 yards in front of the 18-yard box. There's a 5-man red wall. It's floated in by Robertson towards the far post, and the header from Van Dijk is into the far corner, and he steers Liverpool into the lead. It's a cracking header from Captain Fantastic, Virgil van Dijk, and in the absence of some of the bigger name goal threats, Virgil van Dijk scores his second cracking header in 2 games, and in the Carabao Cup final, the captain leads from the front. It's 1-0 Liverpool.
Well, what you can't do, you can't match up Chilwell with Van Dijk and toss the ball up in the air with encouragement for Van Dijk to come on. It's a beautiful free kick, just angling away from goal, great curl on it, and Van Dijk, just his energy and his power, he just outpowered Chilwell, I believe it was, pushed him aside, got over the top of him. Yeah, as I say, Chilwell's got no chance, he's backing off towards his own goal. But the quality of the ball into the box was magnificent. I've got to say, both forwards and defenders are running back towards their own goal, and that can only ever benefit the attacking side.
An arcing ball in from Robertson, aimed towards Van Dijk, who held off the challenge of Chilwell, and with the force to get the ball away and into the far corner, he's given Liverpool the lead. And I think on the balance of the first 15 minutes of the second half, they deserve it. Or are they going to lead? Because there was a possible offside in the build-up to the goal, which is being checked here, and I wonder whether or not this goal's going to be disallowed. Well, they're trying to see whether or not...
Endo block, I think, is the only thing I can think of.
No, it's a possible offside they're looking at, and I think it's Gakpo who seems to be in an offside position, but they've given they haven't given the goal yet. He's gone over to look at the monitor to see whether or not there was any interference here.
I think there's the block, I can only see it being Endo blocking, a potential block. I can't see that being offside, because it's been floated in, and a player from an onside position has come and headed the ball. Well, what you can see is Endo holding his ground and potentially...
Well, yeah, Endo is in an offside position, and if he is then interfering with the play, then he is deemed to be in an offside position. So that is what they are looking at, and if he does stop the Chelsea player from being able to get back and play the ball, then it is an offside. And now Chris Kavanagh has gone over to the monitor to review the action. Now the question he's being asked now is, does he think that Endo's action stops the opponent from his ability to play the ball? If he believes that to be the case, then as we've seen previously this season, that goal will be chalked out for offside. There was definitely a tussle on the edge of the box, and Endo was involved in it, and the referee has overturned the goal, and it's still 0-0, and it's a massive let-off for Chelsea. It's ruled out for offside against Endo.
Yeah, I mean, Endo's held his ground, and he's blocked a potential marker, certainly, of Van Dijk, and whether he was in an offside position, as you rightly pointed out as well.
Well, Jurgen Klopp is shaking his head, and Liverpool think the whole world is against them at this moment in time. They've lost Gravenberch, and now they've had a goal disallowed, just as Chelsea did in the first half, because of offside, and that might just give Chelsea a little bit of encouragement. Gallagher trying to act as cheerleader as the ball runs down this right-hand side. Liverpool's goal's been chalked off. It's 0-0 in the cup final. The ball's on the right. It's with Gusto into the area now. He plays it against McAllister, and it goes out for a throw-in to Chelsea. 63 on the clock. It took a long time to sort out, but was it the right decision in the end?
Well, if you're suggesting that he's...
Palmer twisting his way into the box, a low ball in towards the near post. It's blocked by Virgil van Dijk. and then cleared up towards the halfway line. Stuart, sorry for
Well, if
interrupting.
we're suggesting that Endo's in an offside position and he interferes with the line, which he does, that needs to be ruled out. Certainly anything that the ball into the box done and Van Dijk's header, that was as clean as you're getting.
Such a good header from Virgil van Dijk. But it does not count, and Virgil van Dijk's goal is scrubbed, and so is Liverpool's lead. It's 0-0. And here is Gakpo turning away from Caicedo, who manages to get back, win the ball and nudge it towards his goalkeeper. The referee says play on. The Liverpool fans getting a little bit irate because they feel hard done to now. And all of a sudden the mood and the temperature has once again changed. It's ignited the passions amongst the Liverpool supporters. They feel as if that they have been robbed of a goal that they feel should have put them in the lead. The Chelsea fans, a little bit of relief, I think, because they haven't started this second half anywhere near as well as they played at portions of that first 45 minutes.
No, you're right there. They literally have not started, Chelsea. You know, I don't know whether they thought with the injury and a bit of ascendancy late in the first half was going to be enough to come out and boss a Liverpool team that are worldly wise, it's fair to say.
Levi Colwill was the man who was blocked by Wataru Endo. And you just wonder whether or not Colwill was ever going to get to that anyway. But that's not the law, is it? The law is that was he impeded from trying to get back and play the ball? The answer was yes, he was offside. And as a result, the goal has been scrubbed off, and Chelsea about to make a change. We'll get to Faker others in just a second. Robertson going down the left-hand side. Gusto makes the challenge. Palmer's nudged out a play on this near side and gets a free kick after he asked for it. Chris Kavanagh taking time to make up his mind. And here's the change. Faker others.
It's Christopher Nkunku coming on for Raheem Sterling. Mauricio Pochettino straight to his bench to make that change.
Fascinating that it's Sterling who comes off. I don't think I remember him touching the ball in the second half.
No, I think you're right. I don't think he has, and I don't think Chelsea have started this second half particularly well.
I wonder whether now we'll see Nkunku go through the middle and Jackson go further out to the left-hand side. And he has been effective in that position, Jackson.
Yeah, that certainly could be an option. He looks as though he's heading straight across unless he's got some information. The two of them are having a chat at this moment in time.
Yeah, and Nkunku and Jackson having a chat. Doesn't look like that's the case at the moment. Nkunku staying on the left touchline. He scored at Anfield the one goal that Chelsea managed when they were beaten 4-1 at the end of January. Jackson trying to hold the ball up down the right-hand side, tussling with Van Dijk. He thought he was fouled there. He might have had a case. Here is Gallagher on this near side. Robertson brings him down. Robertson still going at him. Eventually Chelsea get the free kick down by the corner flag, and Robertson indicating that he believes there was a dive there by Gallagher. He wasn't happy with the challenge.
This is where I think the officials have got to be stronger on diving. Gallagher's done really well getting into the corner flag, getting possession of the ball, then he plants his feet and initiates contact and goes down, and it's a dive, and the Liverpool players have got frustrated with that.
And there's a cordite smell in the air. The flares that were lit off after the goal that was disallowed, still with the smoke lingering in the bowl of Wembley, just creating a haze as Chelsea try to create a chance of their own from a set piece on this right-hand side. Gallagher will take it. It's 3 yards in from the right touchline. It's just about 6 yards back from the byline, and it will be swished in towards the middle of the 18-yard box here with Disasi, Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo and Jackson all ready to pounce. Colwill there as well. It's deep towards the far post. It's over Disasi's head. It was far too big, and it comes out on the far side to be collected by Chilwell, who recycles it, hits the defender, goes behind and away for a Chelsea corner.
Yeah, Chelsea just getting a bit of territory now and a bit of pressure on Liverpool's goal, and I think they needed that for this half. They've struggled to get any momentum in the half.
Buoyed by the disallowed goal, Chelsea look to try and get themselves in front now from a set piece. The corner to be taken over on the far side. Gallagher just waiting, then he'll re-spot it once again. There's a little bit of movement inside the box that he wasn't happy with, so he hesitates, then goes back, then does a little run up to the ball, right-footed, in towards the middle of the goal. The header is towards the back post. Disasi's effort somehow hits the top of the crossbar and is collected by Kelleher. Well, he looks like he's missed from a point-blank range there.
In fact, it didn't hit the crossbar until it was in the arms of Kelleher. It was a bit behind him and he fired it straight up in the air.
Yeah, fantastic flick on at the near post to Sassy coming at the far post, and it just arrived sort of on his thigh, if you like, and he couldn't get his thigh angled well enough to guide it on goal, and all he could do was put it up in the air for an easy catch for Kelleher.
What a chance. Another one for Chelsea. They can't keep spurning these opportunities, Stuart, if they want to walk away with a cup in their hand.
No, they certainly can't. And you get the impression now, the timing we got. First goal wins it, Sam.
Liverpool slalom their way to the edge of the area. Gakpo set up by Diaz over the bar. And that was a brilliant run from Luis Diaz. He went slaloming to the edge of the box, fed Cody Gakpo, but he slashed at the ball, went right across it, and he fired it behind into the Liverpool crowd.
What a wonderful run there by Diaz from the left side of the pitch, straight across to central. He set it off brilliantly. And Diaz, let me take you back to Euro 96 and Alan Shearer just opening his body out and launching one into the top corner. It was akin to that. But Gakpo, being Dutch, couldn't do that.
Yeah, it was in the Dutch game, wasn't it? 4-1. Sheringham laying it off to Shearer. Shearer smashing it into the top of the net. And we saw Alan a little bit earlier on. And he would have dispatched that. Cody Gakpo didn't. And it's still 0-0. Jackson putting pressure on Kelleher, whose clearance goes all the way to halfway, and Elliott now turns, takes it brilliantly and comes infield, lays it off to Conor Bradley, who ends up overrunning the ball. Colwell pinches it, takes it out to the far side, runs up to the halfway line, still got hold of it, and Chelsea now take over with Nkunku. Then it's on to Gallagher, out to Colwell left side, trying to take on Joe Gomez, and he's beaten Joe Gomez. He's got into a crossing position. It's behind Jackson, but picked up by Palmer. Palmer edge of the D, out wide to the right, Malagusto. Gusto's low ball into the near post is tucked away and behind by Van Dijk, and it's out for a throwing down by the corner flag. That was a counter-attack led by Chelsea's centre-back Levi Colwell.
Yeah, he does, and his best option was to give it to Gomez and then tackle Gomez to get past him, you know.
Yeah, there wasn't too much of a trick in that, was there?
It wasn't, no. You have it. I don't know how to beat you. I'll take it off you, though.
Here is Gallagher on the right side. Colwell tight to the touchline, trying to travel infield. Lays it off to Fernandes. Back to Malagusto. Now Gallagher again. Flies the ball into the box. Not a great delivery. And it goes over the top. And out and away for a goal kick away to our right. And we're going to see Bobby Clark come on here. Faker others.
Yeah, we certainly are. The 19-year-old midfielder coming on for Conor Bradley, who of course has moved up to that higher role. So we'll see what Bobby Clark is able to do in this cup final.
Bobby Clark, whose dad Lee once wore a famous T-shirt at Wembley, which forced him to move clubs. Were you involved in that FA Cup final when Lee Clark was in the crowd? He was at Sunderland at the time, and he wore an anti-Sunderland T-shirt in the Newcastle end.
Was that? Yeah, I was at Newcastle for both the FA Cup appearances, so the answer is yes.
So his dad would have been on the terraces watching you. Once, of course, a very famous Newcastle player, Lee Clark, Bobby Clark, who was born in the south at Epsom, and then eventually went to Newcastle to play in the academy there, and then purchased by Liverpool. He's had some good experiences at Wembley and wants another one. Here down the left-hand side is Gakpo, into the area, looking for Elliott. Oh, tucked away by Nkunku, and he gets it out on the left-hand side and tries to escape, but he's giving it back to Elliott, who is then giving it back to Enzo Fernandez, and the left edge of the area is where Chelsea are. Fernandez is giving it away again, encouraged Liverpool to come forward. It's been a bit like that all afternoon. Bobby Clark takes it up on the right-hand side, sends a cross into the box, he takes a deflection and goes out on the far side.
Yeah, as you say, there's turns over possession, and this game's been littered with a lot of turnovers, cheap ones as well. Players trying to take the wrong option out.
Corner kick to Liverpool in front of their supporters away to our left-hand side. It's 0-0. We're waiting for the breakthrough. Both teams have had disallowed goals. And here comes the corner to be taken by Alexis McAllister, the World Cup winner for Liverpool. Van Dijk moaning at the referee. Is lined up on the edge of the box. Disasi's trying to watch him and follow him. It's headed down by Konate, further out by Chilwell, and then picked up by Fernandes. Palmer tries to get it away, and Nkunku can't get there because Gomez stopped him from breaking. The ball is loose in the midpoint of the Chelsea half. Caicedo then falls over. Clark manages to pick it up. He can't play it down the left into Gakpo, and then Disasi just about gets it out towards this near side. And again, this time Palmer manages to get beyond Robertson, invites the challenge, and it goes out of play on this near side. But it was untidy again from Chelsea, trying to escape the Liverpool pressure.
Yeah, it was, and Caicedo went to ground trying to buy a free kick. Knowing full well you can't get booked for diving anymore, obviously.
Has that changed? That law changed?
It's changed.
Yeah, I thought it might have done. Well, Liverpool's second half displays have been the stuff of legend. Out of their 100 goals this season, 34 of them have come in the last quarter of an hour, and we are just about to enter what is probably called Liverpool time.
Yeah, it's like reading a thriller, this, isn't it? You turn over page by page, it gives you a few clues, but you don't know until the last page exactly who's going to lift the trophy.
Football's version of the who done it. It's who won it.
Who won it, yeah.
We'll go down to the touchline in just a second, but Chelsea on the attack with Malagusto moving down the right into Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer back to Malagusto again. Cole Palmer, who's had such an influence on Chelsea's attacking play over the course of the season, has it again in the right wing position, cuts in left-footed, it's in towards Gallagher, he's come back off the post and it's cleared away by Konate, and Chelsea now have hit the frame of the goal. And it's another big chance, and Conor Gallagher has got his head in his hands. He can't believe it didn't sneak in.
No, I couldn't. Really good play by Cole Palmer on that occasion, and it looked, for all intents and purposes, this is in, but no, it's bounced off and we're still at deadlock.
So both teams have had a goal disallowed. Both teams have hit the frame of the goal. And, well, one team's had an injury. Is there another bit of injury news, Fake or others?
No, it's just the injury news from earlier on. Ryan Gravenberch, who we saw stretchered off earlier on, is actually taking his place back on the bench. He's on crutches, but it's good news. At least he hasn't been taken for more serious treatment.
Well, that is bad news for Ryan Gravenberch. What a chance for Chelsea. It was such an impudent little flick from Gallagher as well. So inventive as the ball came in and just trying to help it on towards the far post. And it cracked that far post, and Konate actually just stooped out the way to ensure that it went clear.
Yeah, I'm not sure what more you can do if you're Gallagher there. He's helped it on brilliantly.
He's got the ball on halfway. It's still 0-0 with 14 minutes to go. Wataru Endo back to Joe Gomez, and Liverpool, who have scored more goals after the 75th minute than any other team in the country, are on the attack now with Luis Diaz chipping the ball out towards the right hand side. It's collected by Harvey Elliott, who cuts in field, goes one way then the other. His left footed ball might find Robertson here, who heads it back across the face of goal. Cole with the strong header out of the box. It drops for McAllister, and then Chelsea pick the ball up, and all of a sudden they can counter attack at pace, and it's with Nicholas Jackson trying to get away from Konate, and Konate, brilliant again, slides in and makes the challenge. Quickly taken throw in on this near side, which Palmer receives from Malagusto. He then runs up towards Robertson and then miscontrols it, helps it into the box. Gallagher's got free, can't get the shot away. Across comes Gomez and Van Dijk, and they get it out of the box. Liverpool again.
Well, they're just ranking up the pressure now, Chelsea. Certainly a few skirmishes, and it was that man Gallagher once again arriving in the box. Just couldn't sort his feet out.
Well, it's been very even, the game overall. Both teams have had their spells, their moments, but they haven't managed to take the game by the scruff of the neck, either of them, and it remains 0-0. Remember, Liverpool with those key absentees, no Nunez, no Salah, no Jota, no Trent Alexander-Arnold or Alisson today. Chelsea with 8 first-team players unavailable in a season really which has been littered by injury for both these teams, in fact almost every team. Ball out of play on this near side. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. And subs have made a massive difference to Liverpool this season. 39 goal involvements off the bench. And Mauricio Pochettino's in his 4th major final of his career. Would love to put a trophy on the mantelpiece for Chelsea. He did win the Coupe de France with PSG. but he's lost his 2 previous finals in England. He would love to win a trophy on these shores. Gallagher fighting for the ball. Bobby Clark comes away with it. Palmer stops him in his tracks. McAllister recovers it for Liverpool. They're deep inside their own half on the left. Disassi brushed off the ball by Diaz, and then Gakpo gives it back to Diaz, and Chelsea are out of shape. Gusto trying to get back at Diaz down the right-hand side. Diaz trying to tangle with him and manipulate the ball so he's got space for the cross. Chelsea have got men up now, and Diaz has sent it back towards the edge of the D, and McAllister, Elliott, Gomez with the strike, and it's straight into the arms of Jordan Petrovic from a tight angle.
Well, once again, it was Disassi on that occasion decided to throw himself to the ground and cede possession of the ball, trying to get a free kick, and Liverpool built an attack. And Gomez's effort there, pretty tame to be fair. Petrovic comfortable.
We're in the final 10 minutes of the final of the Carabao Cup. It is pretty much next goal wins. Stuart's been saying from the very beginning the most important thing will be the first goal. It will set the tone. Chelsea will hope that it's them. Liverpool believe it can be them because of their excellent record towards the end of matches. Their goal record in stoppage time has been brilliant this season. That's a foul by McAllister on Caicedo, just short of the halfway line, and a yellow card for Alexis McAllister.
Yeah, rightly so. As I say, I think he knew he wasn't going to get there and just stopped the attack.
Well, it's so significant for both these two teams. Jurgen Klopp wants to lift a trophy because he's leaving and would love to leave them with a bit of silverware. And you do wonder what will happen next year. Well, who will replace Jurgen Klopp? What will happen to the squad? Will Mo Salah still be here? Will Virgil van Dijk still be there? Both of them are sort of not got ringing endorsements in terms of the futures. Van Dijk, I think straight after Jurgen Klopp said he was leaving, said, well, we'll see what happens, which didn't really help. And the constant links with Saudi Arabia and Mo Salah don't go away. Liverpool will hope whoever they bring into the dugout has the same sort of lustre and energy that Jurgen Klopp has brought to the job since 2015. And of course they still got the opportunity to fight for the Premier League, the FA Cup and the Europa League. For Chelsea, well, they've floundered so much this season. Winning here today would do one thing that would tick their box of aims at the beginning of the season, which would be to get them into Europe. Here down the left, it's picked up by Diaz for Liverpool though, who pokes it in towards Robertson, who's teasing ball through the 6-yard box, isn't converted by anyone. It goes out the other side and Elliott picks it up again. Gomez into the box now, headed away by Colwell, back to Endo from distance, clatters it into Gallagher. Gallagher wins a really good challenge in the middle of the park. It comes off the defender Canate, he uses his hand and he gets a yellow card for that challenge.
Well, there was probably 2 or 3 challenges. Gallagher at full stretch on the floor that Klopp was incensed about, and then at the end of it, it was Canate who ended up drawing the yellow.
Well, he used his hand, that's why, because he lifted it up and punched it away. The first one was by Gallagher. I thought that was a fair challenge, did you?
Well, what Gallagher done, and he done well going into the challenge, he didn't raise his feet. He kept his feet firmly sort of down and tackled with the laces almost.
Here is Gusto on the right-hand side for Chelsea. Liverpool on the retreat now. Palmer coming down the right-hand side has miscontrolled it terribly and taken it out of play, and it's Liverpool's ball. Well, anything can happen now. We could have extra time here. We're 8 minutes away from yet another cup final, going to extra time. And these two seemingly can never find a way to separate themselves when we get to Wembley. We had that unbelievable penalty shootout that finished 10-11 the other year, where the only player to miss was Kepa Arrizabalaga. Even Kelleher scored. Became a little bit of a Liverpool folk hero for that. Here is Fernandes up to Gallagher trying to protect the ball, but it was difficult to do so. He did brilliantly and found Caicedo, and now he's gone on, and Palmer runs down the right hand side, moves towards the edge of the area, and then he tries to shift it out towards Chilwell, but it was too heavy. Chilwell has to funnel the ball back to Enzo Fernandez as Chelsea look to try and recover their faculties and build another attack. 83 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock at Wembley in the Carabao Cup final, which is finally poised. It's lifted by Caicedo to Gusto, whose ball into the box is a good one, and Nkunku's coming round the back, but it was running out of room, and he slides out of bounds, and it's out for a goal kick.
Yeah, Gusto should have done better there. He's putting it across the face of the goal's one thing, but you've got to put a bit of curl on it so it can't go out of play.
Could have been the perfect chance for Chelsea, because if he had managed to have pulled that back through the 6-yard box, Jackson and Nkunku were coming in.
Yeah, a bit too much gusto from Gusto, I'd say, and not enough traction from Jackson. Just pleased to be here, aren't we, really?
If we keep going, might not be invited back. 6 minutes to go. It's Talk Sport live at Wembley. And it's a bit gloomy out there now. The game has certainly been a bright spot. It's been fascinating to watch. And there's going to be a trio of substitutions from Liverpool in the next few moments. I mean, including a player who's only ever played about 3 minutes for them. Here's Diaz moving up to the edge of the area. It's kicked away by Enzo Fernandez, collected by Jackson, and Jackson steers it into Enzo Fernandez, who's on halfway here, and he needs a little bit of support. Palmer provides it, and now there's room for him to run into. Look where Gallagher is on the far side. Can Palmer feed him? He can. It's Conor Gallagher for Chelsea. It's saved by Queven Kelleher, who came out almost Schmeichel-esque and made himself so big that Gallagher couldn't beat him.
I tell you what, brilliant goalkeeping. I'm going to eat my words here. On the train on the way, I sat next to a Liverpool supporter and I said, I'm not sure that the loss of your goalkeeper is a big loss. Kelleher has played very well today, and he's saved his team. He's kept them in it with that save.
There's 2 big saves he's made, one from Gallagher and another one in the first half from Cole Palmer. And Gallagher, who's come closest for Chelsea twice. Jackson has timed his run well though. He's in behind. Konate trying to make up the ground. Jackson tries to get away from him inside the area. He couldn't do so he tees it up for Gallagher, who shot wide of the goal this time. He was arriving right on the edge of the box, and it was narrowly wide of the upright. 3 changes for Liverpool, Faker others.
Yeah, and 2 youngsters. Jurgen Klopp said his young stars are what makes this club special, and 2 of them are coming on to join Bobby Clark. They made their debuts at Luton the other night. Jayden Dans, son of Neil Dans, along with James McConnell, the 19-year-old, and they're coming on with Kostas Tsimikas as well, who replaces Andy Robertson.
Well, Kostas Tsimikas has got history in this stadium. He replaces Robertson. He scored the winning penalty in the FA Cup final of 2022. James McConnell comes on wearing number 53. Made his Premier League debut against Brentford on November the 6th. His 6th senior appearance today, came through Sunderland's youth system. And Jayden Dans, who, as Faye said, made his Premier League debut in the 89th minute against Luton for Luis Diaz, had a hand in the 4th goal, also comes on here, and he will go as the main striker. They've taken off a World Cup winner and Cody Gakpo, plus Robertson, and I mean, that is brave from Jurgen Klopp, isn't it?
It certainly is, but he trusts the youngsters, I've got to say, and he's in a position at this football club that whatever he does is seen as the right decision. And listen, it's his decision, and I don't see anything wrong with it. You know, he put Bradley in the team, and he's certainly not let him down recently.
I mentioned in commentary that I'd seen a few things from Jayden Dans on the internet whilst playing with the youth team, and he'd impressed me, and he certainly impressed me when he came on Wednesday night, and he's leading the line now for Liverpool. Chelsea about to bring on Mykhailo Mudryk, who's down in front of us, and we'll get to Faye in just a second to find out who he's replacing. The ball is back with Gusto, who shepherds it to his goalkeeper. We're into minute 88 here at Wembley, and still we've got no reason to know which one's going to win the cup. Here's Dans into the penalty area, just chopping inside onto his right foot and curling the ball to the far stick. It's saved by Petrovic, and Dans actually, I think many people thought he was offside there, but the linesman didn't flag.
No, he was offside. The linesman's body language suggesting, look, if it hits the back of the net, I'm going to twitch and go up. Can't see the point on that one in playing on.
Colwell into Fernandez, back to Chilwell, sends it long. And Nkunku is chasing now. Gallagher's to his right. Jackson's making a move into the penalty area. Nkunku took too long. It's blocked by Gomez and then picked up by Clark over on the far side. Substitution for Chelsea, Baker Others.
And it is likely to be Nicholas Jackson coming off for Mykhailo Mudryk. That just being confirmed as we speak. In fact, it isn't. Oh, hold on, he's got the wrong... the assistant referee, the fourth official, has actually got the wrong numbers on. He's got the last ones. It is going to be Nicholas Jackson for Mykhailo Mudryk.
Well, he was trying to take off Colwell and Chilwell and not bring anybody on there, the fourth official, which is probably not the wisest move from Maurizio Pochettino. There it is, confirmation. He sticks up to 15 and off comes Nicholas Jackson and on comes Mykhailo Mudryk. Right move for you?
It's a difficult one, really. I think I'm surprised that Madueke hasn't come on. You know, I saw him recently and I thought he was outstanding in the game, arguably the best player, but there'll be a reasoning behind that. But certainly the more Chelsea keep dipping to the bench, they're bringing more experience on and probably players that are perceived as slightly better. But listen, the game's up for grabs.
Colwell struggling to deal with Dance. Dance trying to fire down the right-hand side for Liverpool. Disasi comes across as Liverpool go on the attack. Colwell gets it back to Disasi and it's cleared upfield. We're in the last minute of the cup final and it's 0-0 between Chelsea and Liverpool. And it's a familiar pattern to cup finals involving these two. Chelsea, an experienced group with the hope that this will hold them in good stead no matter what happens here. They've had good chances in the second half, arguably the cleaner cut chances in the second half and not taken them, despite the fact that actually Liverpool were better in the first portion of this second 45. 6 minutes of added time. The free kick goes against, I think it was Caicedo for a high foot. He did nearly take Luis Diaz's head off. Pochettino's complaining, but it was a free kick.
Yeah. Do you find it strange time for Liverpool to make those changes, those three, right on the end of sort of the 90 minutes, if you like?
The only thing I can think of, Stuart, is that with the sheer number of games they've got to play upcoming in the next few weeks, they've got Southampton on Wednesday night, and they've got Forest, Sparta Prague, Manchester City upcoming. They just wanted to protect those. Here is Gallagher trying to win a high ball. Doesn't quite get there, but Mykhailo Mudryk does. Gallagher's still on the edge of the area. And Nkunku trying to turn. Thought he was fouled from behind by Virgil van Dijk. The referee says no, and Van Dijk with a sneer turns round to Nkunku and tells him to get back to his feet. It's back with Disasi on this near side. Yeah, I just wonder whether or not, with so many players injured, they're just protecting those who might be erring into the red zone.
Well, potentially that, but listen, you know, you're minutes away from potentially lifting a major trophy. It's a big call.
Big call.
He's a big manager.
And he's brave. And, well, Chelsea will be hoping to take advantage of some more youth on the pitch, and there's quite a lot of it out there for Liverpool. Here is Enzo Fernandez running into one of those in James McConnell, and Palmer just gets the wrong side now, pokes it into the area. It's Christopher Nkunku, then it's Cole Palmer, it's saved again. Gusto into the centre, it's loose, it's saved again from Nkunku by Kelleher. How on earth have Chelsea not scored? A scramble in the final few seconds of the game. Nkunku, Gallagher, Palmer, all denied by Queven Kelleher, who's probably just won himself the Man of the Match award.
Well, I was just going to say, Konate has played very, very well in this game and potentially the man of the match with a great block that he got in there, a goal-saving block, but then Kelleher come out with 2 or 3 of his own. It was incredible scramble.
He looks unbeatable, Kelleher, this evening, this afternoon. He can't quite believe that he's pulled off those saves. He's pulled off so many for Liverpool today. I think that's 4 or 5 brilliant saves that he's made in this game. Corner in towards the near post. Didn't come and get that one with any real cleanliness. And now it's a chance for the Red Arrows to strike on the break as Diaz tries to lead a counter-attack. He works it to Elliott. Elliott back into Diaz, edge of the penalty area. Gallagher trying to get back at him. Chelsea surrounding Diaz and eventually coming away with the ball, and Gallagher manages to get it clear but gives it back to Diaz. In the right full-back position, it's with Palmer. Palmer trying to get away down the right. There's a tussle and a free kick, and eventually there is a free kick given in the right full-back position. Well, if Liverpool do emerge with trophy in hand at the end of the day, they can thank Queven Kelleher for his efforts.
I think they can thank me for saying to a Liverpool fan on the way here that I'm a bit worried about your goalkeeper being a weak link.
It's all down to you.
He has been magnificent. I've got to say, he's been very, very good.
That Liverpool fan can ring Alan Pardew and rub your nose in it a little bit later on. 03717 223344. Mikhailo Mudryk speeding down the left-hand side. Misreads the flight of the ball. Gomez gives it away. Enzo Fernandez can't win it. Mikhailo Mudryk is fouled by Bobby Clark, and a free kick goes Chelsea's way. They take it quickly. Gallagher into the penalty area. He's being backed up by Palmer, but there wasn't too many options, and they might have been better served trying to send it into the box. They didn't. Liverpool won it in the right full-back area, and then they've cleared upfield. We're into the 94th minute of the game, and it is 0-0. So I don't know why the presentation people have gone down to start lining the route to the Royal Box, because there's still going to be half an hour and a penalty shootout to take place here at Wembley before we crown the winners of this year's competition. Liverpool believing that it can still be them. 90 seconds before extra time, live on TalkSport. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0.
Both teams just taking a little breather at the moment after those skirmishes in and around the box. We've had some incredible goalmouth melees today, haven't we?
And Queben Kelleher has done brilliantly to stop Chelsea from stealing the cup right at the very end of this encounter. Conor Gallagher is still fighting for the ball on the edge of the penalty area, and he almost got there. Palmer tries to nick it away from McConnell. McConnell looked as if he'd used his hand there. Palmer was pretty certain that he had. The referee said play on. Into the final minute of stoppage time. Ball centered by Liverpool, but cut out by Caicedo, who gets it on to Gallagher, who turns really well from Konate. Thinks he's been knocked to the floor. He's still fighting for it. Eventually wins the free kick. Chelsea have one last chance in normal time to try and fashion a winning opportunity.
Yeah, Gallagher, really good turn there, and in the end he ended up being brought down, but as you say, Chelsea probably about 45 yards out, centre of goal, got an opportunity to fade one in.
Can they make it happen? Chilwell standing over the ball. Konate retreats into position. Chelsea have got Nkunku just behind the line of defence. Just in front of that, Cole Palmer drops short to pick up the ball. He then swings it round the corner. It's a poor delivery into the box. No one attacking it, goes behind. And I think that's pretty certain now that we'll have extra time once again between Chelsea and Liverpool. It's the 7th time in 17 finals of the League Cup that will require an extra 30-minute period and possibly penalties to decide who lifts the trophy. It's a familiar story for cup finals involving these two. It's Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. It reminded me a little bit, that goal, of the one at Fulham that Manchester United scored earlier in the season. And no doubt that the reason for it being disallowed was because under the wording of the law, he was impacting a Chelsea player's ability to play the ball from an offside position. Therefore, that's why they disallowed it. I think there is bemusement inside the stadium. Adrian's absolutely right. What there wasn't was enough clear communication inside the stadium as to what it was, because you saw, as I did, the captions everywhere were saying possible offside, but it was only when we unpicked it up, having watched several replays and pictures from the monitor, that we managed to identify what it was. If you're in the stand, you haven't got that luxury.
No, you wouldn't have a clue, because they're looking at the free kick and they're looking at the person who heads it in the goal, and there was clarity between those two.
We're underway at the start of the the first period of extra time, the second chapter of this story in what has been an epic saga of battles between these two in cup finals, and we're probably on our third book now of those particular encounters. And Chelsea attacking the goal away to our right, Liverpool in red attacking the goal to the other end of the ground where the Chelsea fans are waiting. Chelsea attacking the goal to our left in this first period of extra time. Konate has it just short of the halfway line. He moves up and finds Diaz. Diaz gets it back to Virgil van Dijk. And interestingly now, just to have a look at some of the young players that are in the team for Liverpool. They've got young Elliott there, who's still only 20 years of age. He's on the ball now. Got James McConnell, Bobby Clark. The ball goes into the centre from Elliott, looking for another one of those youngsters in Jayden Danns. The ball's loose inside the penalty area. The Liverpool are trying to attack, and it's not clear by Chelsea initially. Eventually they get it over the halfway line, but most of the experience is in the back line for Liverpool.
Yeah, it certainly is, and as I say, I mentioned earlier, I think Konate, who doesn't get as many plaudits as the fellow alongside him, I think has been outstanding today.
McConnell left side for Liverpool, attacking the Chelsea goal away to our right. Back infield he goes to Clark, back to McConnell again. He wanders infield and plays it to Konate. Konate slides it down the right into the path of Elliott, and Elliott then finds Joe Gomez on the overlap, and across comes Mudryk and puts it out of play for a Liverpool corner. And they've started again brightly at the start of the extra time period.
Yeah, Mudryk just switched off there, let Gomez get the wrong side of him, and it was that lightning pace that we saw come into action there, just got himself out of trouble.
0-0 in extra time, and Tsimikas to take the corner, and he'll try and whip this in left-footed. He's got good delivery, never scored for Liverpool, but boy has he created some chances in his time. Left-footed, deep towards the far edge of the box. It's away by Colwill. Drops outside the area for McConnell, and then it goes back to the left and Bobby Clark via Gomez. He clips it into the area. It's away by Chilwell, and then it's collected by Elliott. Elliott fires the ball into the box, looking for Van Dijk, who's headed back across the face of goal towards Danns, and it's tipped over the top by Petrovic, and Dan's header had to be stopped by the big Serbian goalkeeper, because that would have been a certain goal.
Yeah, it certainly would. As I say, when the ball was in the air, you always knew Van Dijk was going to win it and head it back across. Dan's just got good power on it, just looping under the crossbar.
What a moment that would have been. Van Dijk into Danns heading the ball towards the far corner, and it was just maybe a little bit too central. Jurgen Klopp applauding the effort, and it's out for another corner for Liverpool. 4 minutes played in extra time, and it is still goalless. We're awaiting that moment to unlock the door. It's into the area, it's over Dan's head, and Konate comes out towards this near side. It goes back down the right for McConnell, whose effort is blocked by Gallagher. Goes out on this near touchline for a throw-in, and Chelsea going to make another change in the next few moments here. Here is Harvey Elliott back to halfway. Faye, what's going to happen?
Noni Madueke is going to be coming on for Conor Gallagher. He's just received his final instructions from Mauricio Pochettino's assistant, Jesus Perez.
Madueke for Gallagher, who's expended a lot of energy in the game. And Chelsea about to make their change. They've made a few now, that would be their third change. Ball sent forward by Liverpool. Disasi stops and tries to clear, and he gives it straight to Luis Diaz in a dangerous position, and Diaz now tries to put the accelerator on, but it's held up. Gives it to Bobby Clark. Dan's trying to weave his way past the defender, gets past Enzo Fernandez, then tees it back up to McConnell, and the kids are running rings around Chelsea at this moment in time. The ball has been played into the area. Palmer's come back and he's smashed it clear, and Mykhailo Mudryk is trying to race Konate to the ball. Konate did have a 20-yard head start. He wasn't too far away from it in the end.
Oh, he certainly showed good pace there, but Konate kept his eye on the ball.
Look at the space over on the far side for the Liverpool players who have made the movement. Tsimikas and Diaz into the left wing position. Diaz takes it infield, plays it to Bobby Clark. Edge of the box is McConnell. Gallagher tries to pinch it, does well enough to do so, then commits a foul, gives a free kick away 6 yards short of the edge of the box in a dangerous area.
I think Gallagher's fortunate not to cop for a yellow on that occasion.
Well, he's coming off anyway, and he's going to be replaced by Noni Madueke. A slightly different player to Conor Gallagher. I think it will probably mean that Palmer goes into the centre at the just behind Nkunku. Madueke out on the right hand side and Mudryk out on the left. Gallagher taking his time to come off on this near side. Free kick though for Tsimikas. That's what's going to be the the next action in the game, when Gallagher eventually gets off on this near side, he's taking his time over it.
Yeah, I don't know what his thought process is here really. He's walked as slow as you possibly can from the far side to the near side.
Madueke just getting into position now as part of the defensive group. He's obviously run himself into the ground, Gallagher. He looks exhausted as he comes off. He can't quite believe that his chances that he has had haven't led to a goal. 7 minutes played in extra time. And Tsimikas will send this ball into the box. Chelsea, who have been ragged at times, given the ball away too cheaply at times and missed good opportunities, defending now as Tsimikas sends it towards the far post. Konate lifts it back into the area. Petrovic was challenged but grabbed the ball and now is encouraged to release it quickly. Nkunku had speeded away to halfway, but he's found instead Cole Palmer, and then the ball has been shifted into the middle, and once again just loose from Chelsea, not reacting in time, and they've given possession back to Liverpool.
Yeah, a little bit loose with their possession. It's been the theme of the game. Liverpool have chipped in on that theme on occasion, but probably Chelsea have been the biggest culprits.
Chelsea's next game is against Brentford. Newcastle at home in the Premier League, but they have a cup game before that against against Leeds United in midweek, and that game is a huge match. Neither of these two teams can afford to be casual in the cups. Always expected to challenge for silverware. Fans trying to raise the energy inside the stadium. Liverpool coming forward with Tsimikas, onto Diaz, edge of the box, clips it to the far post. Harvey Elliott with a chance, it's a side netting. And some of those Liverpool fans on the far side thought it had rippled the net. But as the ball went over into the box, into the right wing position, Harvey Elliott just thundered the ball into the ground and it hit the side netting wide of the post.
That's great set-up play there by Diaz, just floated it to the far post. Elliott's decided to come in and hook his left foot round it. Well, whether it was the best option or not, well, obviously not.
Chelsea again stretching at the back. Petrovic just giving Colwell a really difficult ball, and then Chilwell has won a free kick in the left corner, and it's going to be a Chelsea free kick. They're just trying to slow the game down now, Chelsea. I'm not entirely sure what the reason behind that is. It's just because they feel maybe that Liverpool have got a little bit of youthful exuberance after sending those youngsters in off the bench.
Well, listen, you've just put Madueke, Mudryk and Nkunku on the pitch, and you would expect that they would raise the tempo rather than sit back and hold on to what you've got.
Yeah, well, they haven't really done anything, any of them, since coming on. I mean, Madueke's only been on for a matter of seconds, but Mudryk and Nkunku have had limited impact so far. Ball thrown in, Colwell plays it back towards Petrovic. He then tries to find Colwell, and Colwell sends it long. Nkunku really fancy the chase there, and it goes out of play and away for a throw. How would you change it if you were Pochettino to turn the tide back in your favour?
Well, I think it's the psychology, as you mentioned earlier, it's the psychology of wanting to win the game in normal time. It doesn't look as though they've got that mentality. It's not the personnel, the shape or anything of that nature. It's just Liverpool look as though, hang on a minute, we're going to try and win this game over 120 rather than wait for penalties.
It'll be some story if Liverpool do win it as well, especially bearing in mind Chelsea have spent £1 billion. Here is Diaz down the left-hand side, going against Colwell, tries to get it into the centre, looks for Danz, comes back out to Tsimikas, it bobbles into the air and it's collected by Petrovic and it's cleared away. But it will be some story, won't it, bearing in mind Chelsea have spent so much money, and yet it's the Liverpool youngsters that are ending up taking the game to Chelsea.
Well, with all the injuries and going into the game, the injuries during the game, certainly Jurgen's suffered, it's fair to say.
He's looking at the Liverpool supporters who are bringing the noise at this moment in time. Madueke back to Malagusto. Chelsea coming forward into the Liverpool half of the field. Malagusto has helped it on to Madueke on the right angle of the penalty area. He's met by Tsimikas, threatens to take him on, tries to go beyond him. Thought he should have got a foul there. Does get nothing more than a goal kick for Liverpool away to our left-hand side. Chelsea fans need to raise the temperature as well as the rain continues to fall at Wembley. They don't want to lose a sixth successive cup final. No one's ever lost 6 domestic cup finals in a row. And Chelsea could be the first if they don't find a winner here or manage to overcome Liverpool on penalty kicks.
Well, Liverpool, the team, and their endeavour to go forward has brought the supporters to the party. The Liverpool fans are the one making the noise, rotating the scarves around their head. They're driving their team on. The Chelsea fans and the team have gone a bit flat at present.
Endo nudges it forward. It's picked up by Gusto. Across to Colwill. Colwill moves it out towards this left-hand side. Chelsea need to find some energy from somewhere. They've gone flat. Liverpool bringing it at this moment in time. They've got the energy, the effervescence and the youthful exuberance to test the Chelsea back line. Chelsea just look a little bit as if they've run out of ideas at this moment. Petrovic plays it out towards the near side. Chilwell brings it down. Back to Colwill. Colwill forward. It's a poor ball by him, cut out by Endo. There's a foul on Mudryk, but the referee will play on here because Enzo Fernandez is steaming forward. And Nkunku now moves out to the wide left-hand side. He gets to the edge of the penalty area. Palmer is joining. It's a poor cross from Nkunku, and it's put behind by Van Dijk and out for a corner kick.
Yeah, good opportunity there. Nkunku cutting in from the left. 3 players coming in the box, but Van Dijk's positional play was outstanding. Just popped it behind for a corner.
Well, Nkunku could have sent the ball to the back edge of the penalty area because that's where Cole Palmer had situated himself. Instead he went towards that middle of the goal, and that's where Van Dijk had followed in and ensured that every gap was plugged. Mudryk will take the corner for Chelsea in extra time. 2 minutes before half-time in the extra time here at Wembley. Mudryk takes it, right-footed, in towards the near post, flicks away by Kostas Tsimikas. It's headed down by Chilwell, away by Konate. It's loose in midfield now, and then it was missed initially by Tsimikas, and then Madueke, acting as the backstop, retrieves it for Chelsea. He chases down the right touchline. He needs an option in the centre. He takes on one player, moves to the edge of the box, beats Endo, sends it in towards Nkunku. It's a little right foot that was poked out by Tsimikas that stopped him from going further. One back by Enzo Fernandez brilliantly. Palmer into Caicedo, midpoint of the Liverpool half. There's a lot of tired limbs out there now, especially in Chelsea blue. Forward by Chilwell, out towards the right. Madueke brings it down. He's got Malagusto in front of him. Palmer on the edge of the area. Madueke in the right wing position, sends it to Malagusto, who pulls it back. Nkunku tries to turn, under pressure, turns away and then fires it towards goal. It comes off of Van Dijk and goes behind and away for another corner.
Well, once again, this game swung from one end to the other, from one team to another, momentum, and it's Chelsea now pushing, couple of corners.
It's been a fascinating, undulating encounter. The high quality that you would have seen before from these two, not always apparent, but certainly it has been thriller minute. Here is Chilwell, in towards the back edge of the penalty area. Disasi heads it down. Gusto, 5 yards back from the edge of the box, has it. Disasi takes over. He tries to come inside and lay it off towards a blue shirt. Fernandez takes over, clips it into the box. A flick by Palmer, and it's just a flick that doesn't cause any problems for Kelleher, who grabs it and bowls it out towards the far side. Tsimikas races up over halfway. 1 minute of added time at the end of the first 15 minutes of added time in extra time here. We could be heading to penalties once more. Endo back to Konate. Konate out to the right. Gomez with a teasing cross into the box. Petrovic did well. And it's bowled out to Moises Caicedo. Fernandez, who knows all about penalty shootouts, nervy penalty shootouts. There was one in the World Cup final that he was a member of the winning team of. Here he is now on the halfway line, receiving the ball from Palmer. The ball goes towards the far touchline, but didn't go out of play, and Liverpool got it back again. And Bobby Clark is dispossessed by Moises Caicedo. And I think Chelsea will be very disappointed if they don't win this cup final, bearing in mind the personnel that are now involved. Kelleher comes out of the edge of the box and clears, and it comes down to Chilwell, who heads it forward. Clark, Chilwell gets there first. And that's no disrespect to the youngsters that are on show for Liverpool, but certainly you've got to believe, as we go to half-time, that this really is there for the taking for Chelsea. That's how it should be.
Well, that's how it should be. They've had better options, that is for sure, in regard to the bench. Players with a touch more experience and more impact. But it's not been the case. Could have gone absolutely any direction this game, and still can.
Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. Jayden Danns 18, Bobby Clark 19, James McConnell 19. The most teenagers to appear in a League Cup final for a side since Arsenal in 2007, when they had Walcott, Fabregas, Denilson and Traore all in the team. And Jarell Quansah, who's only 21, just almost got dispossessed by Nkunku straight from the kickoff at the start of the second period of extra time.
Yeah, he did. I've got to give him a bit of credit, though. He dropped the shoulder and went past him. I'm not sure I would have taken that chance or that gamble at this stage of the game.
Here is McConnell on halfway, and it remains 0-0, and we are 15 minutes away from penalty kicks again between Liverpool and Chelsea in a cup final again. Do you think if these two end up in a cup final next time, and this one goes to penalties, that they should just get rid of the game and just do a shootout?
Why not? Why not?
Put a concert on or something.
It's been so enjoyable, the game, hasn't it? You know, technically, okay, the odd question mark in regard, it's been a touch scrappy at times, but the action in the goalmouths, scrambles,
great fun, hasn't it? Absolutely. Here is McConnell getting it back to Clark. Clark is dispossessed by Caicedo, who is then fouled by Clark. Free kick is given for Chelsea, and we have 107 minutes now up on the clock. Chelsea have made a number of changes, but there's still a couple that they can make here. Alfie Gilchrist is warming up down in front of us. Trevor Chalobah, who scored a penalty when starting the League Cup final of 2022, is on the bench. Hasn't played that much this season. Gilchrist, youngster who has been involved, keeps looking over at the bench as if to say, come on boss, get me on there. He would certainly bring a little bit of energy. He's been very good at that this season. Here is Enzo Fernandez. Poor ball to Malagusto, but he's managed to make the most of it. And then, Palmer was being tugged back by McConnell, who's going to get a yellow card.
Yeah, it was all over the top of Palmer. And, well, that was probably a free kick that would fall into the category of blue card, I think.
That's your pet peeve, isn't it? The cynical foul.
Yeah, that's a 10-minute sin bin.
Crikey, can you imagine if Liverpool lost another player? They've lost enough already today. Especially due to injury. They lost Gravenberch in the first half. They couldn't play Nunez and Salah today, but they have brought on the kids in the second half of the game. And I must admit, you've got to give credit to Alex Inglethorpe down at the academy, because he has produced one hell of a crop of youngsters this season that have helped Liverpool in their title charge, and what they will hope is a trophy winning charge here. Gusto on the near side, playing the ball out towards the near touchline. He's found Palmer, and then Enzo Fernandez. There's an overload here for Chelsea. Down the right, Madueke gets into the box. Now he can try and steer it back into a central area. It's still Madueke, and he's chosen the wrong option again, and he couldn't find Palmer. Still Chelsea have it, 10 yards from the edge of the box. Palmer finds Enzo Fernandez, out towards Mudryk. Mudryk now trying to go wide, gets to the byline, tries to tee it up, it hits Gomez and goes out for a corner kick.
Yeah, you can't help thinking that Chelsea have got more threat on the counter-attack. It's just trying to fashion those opportunities, but certainly the right pass wasn't found then by Madueke.
Here is the corner on the far side to be taken by Mudryk. Raises his right hand in the air. Palmer is underneath the goalkeeper. It's in towards the near post. Endo manages to get it away, and then it's collected by Chilwell and sent centrally into Malagusto. Chelsea with an expected goals total of 2.43 in this game, yet to score, and Liverpool an expected goals total of 1.85 yet to score. 20 goal attempts for Liverpool, 16 for Chelsea. 8 on target for Liverpool, 7 on target for Chelsea. But that's all pretty irrelevant when the scoreboard still says 0-0. They'll get a chance to score a goal in the shootout at least. You'd hope anyway.
I think we're going to have a chance or two before we get to that.
Oh, A prediction from Pearce. Here is McConnell out to the right side looking for Harvey Elliott. Chilwell tries to nudge it away from him, so does Mudryk, but he controls it really well, Elliott, and then feeds the ball out towards his near side, and Tsimikas with a cross into the box which causes problems, and he doesn't get hold of it, Dans, but no one can get hold of it in blue either, and they smuggle it out to the edge of the box, and Liverpool recycle it, and Tsimikas with a poor ball out to the far side drives Quansah back towards his own halfway line, and then he has to go all the way back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, bit of pressure now by Liverpool, just building up.
Kelleher forward, away by Gusto, picked up by Moises Caicedo, and then on to Madueke. Palmer, who's fired into him, couldn't control it, and then Endo turns and tries to bring it forward. Good turn by Dans, who pokes it out towards the near side. Gusto reads it, lovely little turn by him. He runs forward, drives up the field for Chelsea, does brilliantly, then plays it out towards the wide right-hand side. Madueke joins the attack now. He's got Tsimikas in front of him, backpedaling, and he chooses to go inside on his left foot. Try a strike, takes a deflection, saved down low by Kelleher, who then had to recover quickly because he spilt it slightly, and then Nkunku was bearing down. But the effort from Madueke, a typical Madueke effort, coming in on his left foot, running along the length of the edge of the area and shooting towards the far corner, was stopped by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he would have been disappointed to let it in, but the class of the goalkeeper is soft hands, keep the ball nice and tight to you so there's no seconds at all.
Good stop by Caoimhin Kelleher in his second League Cup final, and he's played a key role in both of them. Quansah sends it wide. Over on the far side for Liverpool is Joe Gomez. In it goes. And on to James McConnell. McConnell back to the halfway line and into Quansah, who sees it all the way back to the goalkeeper. And there's going to be a change for Chelsea. Faker others.
Trevor Chalobah is coming on for Ben Chilwell very shortly. You and I looked it up earlier, didn't we, Sam? 2022. Hold on, I'll go back to you.
Here is Chilwell getting in front of Elliott, who's darting down the right-hand side. Back in field he goes to McConnell. McConnell plays the ball back wide again to Elliott. Elliott now trying to take it on. 22 minutes played in extra time. Chilwell, who dives in over on the far side, as Faye is suggesting, may well be replaced now.
Yeah, he certainly is. Trevor Chalobah is coming on, and we were saying earlier on, he scored in the shootout between these two sides, so that might be exactly why he's coming on right now. Ben Chilwell, the man to make way.
Well, the only player who didn't score in that shootout, it finished 11-10, was Kepa Arrizabalaga, and he, like a lot of the Chelsea players, has disappeared since then. In fact, Trevor Chalobah is the only player in the Chelsea squad today that played in that final. And he comes on and joins the fray for the final few minutes of the game. Ben Chilwell, who is the captain of Chelsea, has handed over the armband to Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah, good to see another directive has gone out the window there. Substitutes being taken off, leaving the pitch at the nearest part of entry.
Yes.
Chilwell physically could not got further away unless he went into Holston, which is in another postcode.
Throw in from the far side, Liverpool on the attack. Disassi away, Elliott brings it down. Clark sets it back towards Tsimikas. He sends it straight down the throat of Jordan Petrovic from the edge of the area. He hasn't scored since 2018, Kostas Tsimikas, but he did get the winning penalty in the shootout of the FA Cup final here back in 2022. Enzo Fernandez didn't know where he was then. He lost his coordinates and he gave the ball straight back to Kostas Tsimikas, who then has fed Bobby Clark down the left-hand side. It's been a bit of a ragged period from Chelsea in extra time. I don't know what Caicedo was doing there, but he ended up kicking the ball against his own head, I think. Here is Madueke leading the charge and the attack for Chelsea. He's got Nkunku through the centre. Well, he tried to play it through to an area where Nkunku should have been running and decided not to.
Well, I don't know whether that ball was on. He's hit it too hard. I'm not sure that ball was on, Sam. I understand what he's looking for and how he's trying to do it. I think it's too difficult to play that.
Where was Nkunku going? I couldn't really work out where he was running.
No, he needed to pull away from the ball rather than tightening himself up to the defender.
6 minutes to go before the end of extra time. Here is Enzo Fernandez again in a tussle in midfield. Liverpool going to emerge with a lot of credit from this final, I think, because of the injuries and the youth players that have come into the team, I think Chelsea will be a little bit red-faced if they don't get over the line. Ball back to halfway. Van Dijk into McConnell. McConnell steps forward. And then it goes out towards this near side. Is there a little bit of youthful naivety about Chelsea, do you think? Is there sort of pressure telling?
We've seen that a little bit over the season. I'll tell you what, I think Diaz is in a bit of trouble here, you know.
Luis Diaz in the centre as the ball goes into the box. Bobby Clark picks it up, takes it down, tees it up for Tsimikas, who's ball to the far post. He's headed down, and he go over the line from Elliott. He's smuggled towards goal by Dan. The referee checks his watch and says he didn't cross the line. The goal decision system comes to Chelsea's rescue.
Well, I thought that had crossed the line. That must have been so tight. Elliott coming in on the back post, guided it on target, and the goalkeeper's got round and managed to get something on it. Incredible.
Well, if Elliott scores with a header,
or did he hit the post?
You know you're in massive trouble, because he's only about 4'11".
I think he's hit the post.
Yeah, he has. He's hit the foot of the post.
And Petrovic has saved seconds.
And then Jadon Dan's tried his hardest to kick it over the line. It didn't quite go out of Petrovic's hands, and it is cleared away by Chelsea, and they survive now. And the frame of the goal has certainly had a little bit of a testing today, hasn't it, from both sides. Here is Chalobah on the right-hand side, trying to tee it up for Disasi. Is there going to be a late winner in this Carabao Cup final? Another epic between these two. Colwell out towards the left. Gusto finds Mudryk. Mudryk trying to send the ball centrally for Cole Palmer, who hits it on the volley first time. It was straight at Cleven Kelleher, an easy save by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I'm not sure what instruction he's putting out to his team here, whether it's a slow down, speed up. I think you're in a stick or twist situation, both teams, both managers at present.
Well, it's going to be testing of the character of these youngsters if they've got to take penalties, and there's quite a few of them on both sides. Here's Tsimikas down the left, trying to get away, sends a cross into the centre, comes back out as far as James McConnell. Back wide it goes for Liverpool, and Tsimikas back into McConnell again, slips it down the left. Clark into the penalty area. Clark with an effort, takes a deflection, goes out for a corner to Liverpool. And Liverpool have been the aggressors in extra time. Chelsea have brought on Mikhailo Mudryk, Christopher Nkunku and Noni Madueke. Madueke's done all right, actually. He's dragged him up the pitch a couple of times. But really and truly, we haven't seen enough of the other two.
No, and listen, we spoke a lot about options from the bench. It's one thing having options from the bench, but when you bring them on, you as a team, not just the individuals coming on, you've got to show intent to carry on winning a game.
Well, Jurgen Klopp is loving every single minute of this, because he knows that his youngsters are performing well. People who you would never imagine have been in the team at the beginning of the season. The cross comes in from the left-hand side. The header from Van Dijk. This time it is in, and he is going to win the Carabao Cup final for Liverpool. Van Dijk with an angled header, glancing it across the face of the goal and into the corner, and Liverpool are going to win the Carabao Cup. Who said you don't win anything with kids? Well, you do if you've got an enigmatic captain who's had one goal disallowed, but they ain't scrubbing this one off. Chelsea beaten in extra time, and it is captain Van Dijk who does the damage with just minutes remaining at the end of the Carabao Cup final. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1. Take a bow, Virgil van Dijk.
Well, I've got to say, he's had one header in earlier in the game, and that one he flashed across the near post, deflected it to the far post, in it went, and well, credit to Liverpool in this extra time period. They've been the team that have been looking to chase the game slightly.
Well, the red flares go off. This time they will not be extinguished. It's Chelsea whose flame has gone out, and it has been put out by Virgil van Dijk. No Jota, no Nunez, no Salah. But when you're Liverpool and you have a captain like Van Dijk, you never walk alone. He went decisively towards the near post. He rose above Mudryk, and he glanced the header into the far corner. Petrovic could get nowhere near it, and Chelsea are beaten.
Well, they're going to have to come after the game now, and they might be ruining the fact that they didn't really go chasing the game when their subs come on.
Ball sent towards the far post. Chelsea now trying to find an equaliser. It comes to Palmer in the centre. There's a half accusation of a handball. Van Dijk's having none of it. The ball's out on this near side. There are 20 seconds remaining. There's an accusation of handball which the referee now is going to look at. He allows play to continue. Chalobah has it. Chelsea need a late charge, but they've been woeful in this extra time period. Nkunku in the area trying to get on the end of a cross. It's back in by Fernandes, away by Van Dijk. The offside flag is up anyway. It's not going to count. Jurgen Klopp maybe about to earn a trophy in the last few months of his tenure at Liverpool. And goals have been a key feature of the run to the final for Liverpool. Their run to the top of the Premier League. They've averaged 2.56 per game this season, the highest of any ratio in a Klopp season, and they've come up with one when they really needed it, right at the end. And it's the red scarred twirling above the head, which you can see at Wembley now.
Well, I've got to say, if this game is won in playing time, I'm delighted. I'm glad it's not gone to penalties.
Ball sent long by Liverpool. One last chance. There's 3 minutes of added time for Chelsea to try and nick an equaliser. Despite spending £1 billion, there is no substitute for planned out recruitment and promotion of your academy talent, and Liverpool proving that point. Here is Enzo Fernandez out towards the wide left. Gusto on the chase, gets to the byline, into the centre, away by McConnell, picked up by Elliott, and then helped on to Diaz, and Downs is running through the centre. Diaz plays it infield to Clark, who's still on the attack here for Liverpool. There was a foul there by Cole Palmer. He's going to be booked, and it's going to be a free kick just in front of the centre circle, and time is ticking away. Mauricio Pochettino warned his players that losing a cup final is the worst feeling in the world. He should know this will be the third time that he's lost one as a manager whilst in charge of an English club.
Well, you've got to say, poor play there by Palmer. Liverpool on the attack, and what they want is someone stupid enough to give a free kick away to break the tempo of the game up. Enter stage right, Cole Palmer.
1-0 to Liverpool. Ball played back by Gomez. 50 seconds to go. Gomez has got a yellow card for taking a free kick. The referee hadn't put his cards away, so he needed to delay the action. So it's a yellow card for Joe Gomez. Alright, okay, fair enough. I don't think he's really going to care about that when he goes and picks his medal up in about 5 minutes' time. Ball sent out towards the near side. Tsimikas heads it down. Liverpool still coming forward. It's Chelsea who need the goal, by the way. There's only 20 seconds for them to get one. They're not going to get one. They were never going to get one from the moment that they conceded that goal. They're becoming serial bridesmaids. They're about to become the first side in English football history to lose 6 straight domestic cup finals. The ball played out towards Enzo Fernandez. Out wide to Chalobah. Chalobah moves it forward. Over on the left-hand side was Mudryk. The ball just drops into the path of a Liverpool player, and they clear it. And then the whistle is blown, and Liverpool beat Chelsea in a cup final again. The players race towards the right-hand side and embrace Guivan Kelleher. They jump into his arms. Some of those youngsters fall to the ground. Jurgen Klopp may be saying goodbye, but he will be waving with a trophy in his hand. Virgil van Dijk gives the Reds the victory that hands them a record 10th League Cup and sees Chelsea's Wembley hoodoo continue. It's now 6 straight defeats in domestic cup finals for Chelsea, and another cup final that passes Pochettino by. Today is another red letter day for Liverpool. They've won the 64th Carabao Cup in extra time at Wembley by 1-0.